welcome to SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League. Proudly brought to you by KFC and our great mates at Dale Alcock Homes. We are at Hands Oval this afternoon, where the undefeated Tigers will go into battle against the Donnybrook Football Club. One where see if Donnybrook can break the run that the Tigers have got on. They have been very, very good all season so far. This is the Tyre Power pre-game show. I'm Alan Crane, and next to me this afternoon is Darren McDonald. Good afternoon, Darren.
Afternoon, Alan. Afternoon, everyone. Good to be back here. We saw the first clash between these two earlier in the year out at Buenup, and after a spirited start by Donnybrook, South Bunbury were able to overrun them.
And that's been Donnybrook's bit of a problem all season. We'll talk about. Just have a conditions report for a Garage Doors Southwest, accredited B&D dealers, as the women's game has just come to a conclusion. Well, the conditions report, I can let you know, Darren, it is about 15 degrees at Hands Oval, got a bit of wind. There is a chance of a rain, but that wind is absolutely bitter, mate.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm rugged up here. I got my thermal T-shirt on the whole bit. I came prepared. I'm glad I did. Sometimes I don't.
And the ironic factor is that big new building, which state-of-art commentary box, is yet to be completed, but that looks pretty sensational, doesn't it?
I think it'll be worth the wait, Alan. You don't mind if nothing had been started, then we'd be like, when's this going to happen? But you can see she's got the frames up. They're just waiting for all the interiors now, and it'll be absolutely magnificent come grand final day here.
Well, I caught up with the people, the supervisors who's running it, and I said, don't worry about anything else, just make sure the commentary box gets fixed and done. Don't worry. Does that sound fair? Now, the big clash this afternoon, mate. The Tigers, the undefeated Tigers, up against fourth place Donnybrook. Very important for Donnybrook today. Yeah. The only trouble with Donnybrook that I see so far is they play a good for a quarter. They don't do that for 4 quarters. And the Tigers are renowned for putting you under pressure for 4 quarters. So if you're going to beat the Tigers, you need to be able to be consistently good for the whole game. Well,
they haven't lost a game for no reason, Alan. They are a super side, and just looking at the side that they've got in today, there's not too many holes. It'd probably be one of the strongest sides they've fielded for the year, I'd reckon. Yeah,
there's a couple back into the side as the umpires just come out onto the ground. There is a few outs for Donnybrook, though. I went through their side.
Oh.
Cody Miller is out. Ben Howlett is out. Luke Dale is out. Chris Attow is out. Zach Gerard is out. Sam Russell. And Big Matty Martin has been transferred to the Albany League. So a lot of outs. So we've got a feud for you to work out who's who.
Yeah, and we've only just got the names about 2 minutes before we went to air. So if you're listening out there, if I'm calling Donnybrook a fair bit, that's why.
In the earlier games today, in the Colts, South Bunbury 15-10-100. They defeated Donnybrook 2 goals 3-23. In the reserves, 15-11, South Bunbury 101. Defeated Donnybrook 1 goal 2-8. And in the women's, South Bunbury 5 goals 5-35. Defeated Donnybrook 3 goals 1-19. So a big day of footy already happening. South Bunbury on top in most of those games, Macca.
Yeah, and I'd expect the same for the league, particularly with the amount of outs Donnybrook do have, and they've just run onto the ground, the Dons, and sporting a wonderful Indigenous Guernsey, as we are in celebrating what our First Nations have brought to the game, and it is the month of NAIDOC.
It is at that.
Alan.
And look, Donnybrook, they've got a fair bit to play for too, currently sitting 4th on the ladder. Anybody who beats the Tigers, I reckon it's nearly an 8-point ball game, Macca, because not too many sides have been able to do that. So if you can actually do that, you're going to give yourself a big advantage.
Yeah, not to mention the psychological edge that goes with that. And in particular if they can get over South Bunbury today with that side that they've got in. But I've been keeping track of it, Alan, and since that long weekend, it doesn't look like they've put a foot wrong, and they don't look like they are a complacent team, and Julian Burgess probably wouldn't let them be complacent.
No, I think he's... look, after the bye, it's interesting to see. I was talking a bit during the week on our show on Friday afternoon. It's amazing. If you win after the bye, everyone says it's been good because you had a rest. If you lost, everyone goes, because we got complaints in the bye. So I think it's just a matter of how they come back this afternoon.
Yes, and just looking at the ladder, Craney, Souths obviously haven't lost a game, and then Bunbury, who they obviously beat in the last gasp on that Foundation Day weekend, is South Bunbury run onto the ground now, just next to us here in front of the
Led
South
by
Bunbury
Captain.
social rooms.
Just before you go onto that ladder, Macca, guess who sponsors our ladder? It's your favourite. It's Buckingham the Butchers.
Buckingham the Butchers.
Yeah, our good mates at Buckingham the Butchers. They've got the Southwest Footy League ladder for you, and as you say, shall we run down it, Macca? Let's have a quick look at it. South Bunbury currently on top on 40. Bunbury are playing some very good footy too, on 32. HBL on 28. Donnybrook 24. Bustleton 24. AMR 24. Only percentage between those three sides. Kerry Park on 20, which are a very good side if they happen to make it into the finals. Then you got Harvey Bulls on 12, Dunsborough 8, and Eton and Collie. Well, they're having their own battle, Macca. They're fighting for that. So no one wants to win the wooden spoon, so they're fighting against
Well,
that.
there's no prizes for last in this comp. You don't get the first in the draft pick, do you, mate? So no one wants to sit on the bottom of the ladder, no.
No, and this afternoon, let's have a look at some of the matchups for Southern Lock and Security. Our matchups this afternoon. Well, it's going to be interesting too. Do Donnybrook worry about putting heavy tags on any of the South Bunbury players? I wouldn't think so. I think they'd go head to head. They've got a pretty good midfield in their same. Sam Perkovic has been very, very good for the Donnybrook Football Club. Gets a lot of the footy, and a fair bit's going to rely on him with these other players out. Yeah,
and Jacob Kendall, we know that he likes to get in there, throw his body around. Not much of him. He's pretty spindly, but he doesn't mind putting his body on the line. So he's probably going to have to go up another level today. Every time I've been out to see Hamish Hutton, I've heard a lot about him, Craney, but he hasn't lit it up for me. So he's one of the players, with all the outs they've got, I think he really needs to step it up today.
That's probably a very good call, actually, because I've seen him play some absolute belters. He got injured pretty seriously. I think that was last year, and it set him back a little bit, but he's got a ton of pace, got a ton of skill. As we're getting a misty little shower coming across the ground, and I'm not sure whether that's a misty shower or a bit of snow, Macca, but it is very, very cold in here at the moment. As you mentioned, Jacob Kendall, he'll start in the middle with Perkovic. And they have got some good players still in there, though. Archer Coates has been very, very good for the Donnybrook Football Club. He's been pushed forward a little bit of late and has handled that very well.
And I've loved Archer Coates, as you know, from the first moment I saw him at Bustleton last year. Eyes on the footy. Once again, he's pretty rangy. He'd look like you could hang a coat on his shoulders. But he just keeps getting the football, puts himself in positions to compete, and if he doesn't take the mark, it goes to ground, and he's pretty good on the ground as well. I love the way he goes about it, and of course, I love the young gun Cooper Clark-Daring. He's got a ton of skill and X factor he brings.
Absolutely, he doesn't mind a bit of a goal. Interesting to see what they do with Cooper this afternoon, whether they send him to centre half forward or they push him up the ground a little bit, but he is...
Could be an opportunity to give him a learning experience against this quality South Bunbury outfit and push him into the middle of the ground for a while, get him to follow a couple of these good players around.
Well, I was talking to his dad yesterday, of course, a well-known cricketer and footballer in his own right, and I said to him, how do you reckon he'd go on a wing? Because he's got all the attributes for a very good wingman. It'd be a tough learning curve because he's never played down there. I'll tell you another person who's been in very good form, you'd know very well, is Clayton Giblett in defence for the Donnybrook Football Club.
Yeah, he's the rock of Gibraltar. Gibber, I've watched him for many years playing for the Perth Demons with my son Logan, and not only is he a very good footballer, but he plays as a team member, but he's a really good club man off the ground, Gibber.
Oh, look, he's very one. There's a couple of new ins for Donnybrook that I don't know much about, so we'll be interested to see.
They might have picked them up on their way down, Craney, a couple of the travellers.
Well, I think the Peel have got a bit of a buy happening, so there could be a couple come through in that regard. Looking at the South Bunbury side, well, they've held a haul before them so far this year. Jace Cormack had a little bit of time off with an injury, but bounced back very good. He's all class, isn't he?
Yeah, with Jace being injured and having time out, he'd be wanting to make up for lost time. He'd be hating sitting on the sidelines. He's such a quality player, and just with that little bit of extra hunger, look out.
He's also a good goal-kicking midfielder, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely, and knows how to earn a free kick.
And we just got the smoking ceremony happening in front of us at the moment.
Wish they did it closer to us, Crane. He'd warm us up a bit.
It is a bit like that, isn't they? Modi Nordell's pretty handy too. Ethan Nordell.
Where's
two
Bodie
Nordell boys.
been?
He's been injured as well, so back in the side this afternoon. So those two boys, I reckon they're the X factors, and I don't think they've been very good all year, but I reckon they can get actually better than what they've been.
Well, of course, on the long weekend, I credit him with kicking the winning goal. Apologies to Cade Waldrett. Ethan did go up for the mark that brought it to ground, and I got fooled by all the long sleeves everywhere, Craney.
It was a great call, though, wasn't it? They stole it. I think it's ringing around the southwest, actually, Macca. They stole it. So you've done very well there, as we're starting to get a couple of sprinkles come across us. Cade Waldrott, actually, you just mentioned Cade Waldrott.
I love him as a player.
He is
really
a fairly handy footballer in his own right, isn't he?
Yeah, he gives you a bit of everything. He's pretty good in the air. He's versatile. He can play half forward, half back, play in the middle. He kicks a good goal. And like I say, like I said before, he can do a job. He can play a role, and then in a burst of 3 or 4 minutes, he can do some really exceptional things that just blow the game open. I think he's a terrific footballer, and he just gets better every time I see him. I still say that I'd love to see him at another level. As good as he is here, I reckon he could go to another level in say, the SWFL or something like that. A
couple of players just in front of us who are very, very dangerous, and Donnybrook will have to look at is Richie Bourne, number 11 for South Bunbury, and Blaine Johnson playing in the number 7 jumper this afternoon, which is a bit different for him.
Because of the Indigenous.
But look at that. I just look at that forward line going up there for South Bunbury. They got Johnson, Nordell, Bourne, Horsman, and Braden Jones. That is a very, very powerful forward setup. So we're not very far away from getting going on. The lights are on at Hands Oval. She is a bit dull. There was a little bit of a misty shower go across the thing. I think the blizzard radar is just about out. That's a conditions report for Garage Stores Southwest. We ran through some matchups for Southern Lock and Security. Secure your home of business with Southern Lock and Security. So margin prediction, quick one, Darren.
I'm tipping South Bunbury by a minimum of 8 goals, Craney.
Yeah, I think for Bunbury Tyre and Exhaust for four-wheel drives and rim kits, I'm on the same boat as you. I think they're just too powerful all over the ground.
But let's hope.
Umpire holds the ball aloft. This is SEN Spirit, and Darren McDonald will take it away.
Let's get down to business as Big Pedley flies, but doesn't win the knock this time. Gregory won it for Donnybrook. There's a scrap in the middle, and the umpires found a free kick going to the Tigers. Going to that man, Waldrett, gives a handball off to Gorda straight away. He kicks long inside 50. Getting out there's Ethan Nordell, but intercepting there was his opponent.
That was a great spoil.
Was his opponent in...
I'm just waiting for you to call the
name.
Hussey. That was a great spoil by Hussey. He come across the front of Nordell.
So there's going to be a ball inside 50 for the Tigers on the far side. Ball comes down. Donnybrook clear through Jackson. Got it out via... Oh, this is going to stitch me up, Craney.
Horseman's got it. That's going to be a good battle here too. Horseman and Kale Beggs. That's a good matchup for Southern Lock and Security. Very much the same size, very mobile. And that'll be a pretty physical contest too, I should imagine.
I reckon that was Hare, number 8. You know, we were worried whether that was a 7 or an 8. I reckon it's an 8.
Let's give it to Aidan Hare.
All right, it's a throw in outside 50 right in front of the social rooms here for the Tigers. Gregory wins this one. Coming at it was Piggott. He's bundled off it. They're still scrapping for it. Intensity high at the beginning of the match, as you'd expect. The umpire's going to ball it up. A 45-degree angle, 55 metres out from the Tigers' goal, right half forward. And one down by Pedley, taken there by Bain, and he scrubs it forward in customary fashion by him. Donnybrook go to clear. It's picked up now by Cormac. Gives a hand to Pedley. Too slick for him. He gets back on it, however. goes over the top of Crane's head. Ball's picked up by Baskerville. He's pulled off as he kicks it, but Horseman in right position comes out, takes a mark on his chest. Really good work. Love the Horseman. And he's going to go back about 45-degree angle, about 25 metres out, right side for a right footer.
He's a great man to have in your footy club, isn't he, Benny Horseman? You can throw him into the ruck, you can throw him forward, you can throw him back, and he's going to be very good in all those areas. And by the way, Macca, say good day to Mr. and Mrs. Horseman. I know they tune in regularly.
I love calling your boy Mr. and Mrs. Horseman. He gives 100% every week. Got a wonderful footy brain as he comes in. He kicks it on his right boot, sends it on its way. Umpire having to do a bit of work. It's just a minor score to the near side.
It's going to be interesting too, kicking for goals. It's not easy out there.
No.
That wind is a bit fluky.
Absolutely it is.
Is that the word for fluky wind?
I
That'll
reckon,
do.
Yep, fluky, tricky, whatever you want to call it. I reckon fluky's good, Craney.
Yeah, that's what we'll go with for a little bit. So, yeah, it started off pretty tough, hasn't it? Donnybrook, as always, are going to throw a fair bit at it. I mean, if you can pinch a 4 points off the Tigers, it's worth its weight in gold.
So Bolton about to bring the ball back into play for the Dons. And puts in a short pass, so they're still in defensive 50, and he found Hutton. Hutton wheels around on his right, goes further across the field. It's taken by Hussey, and he's found a teammate there in Kendall. Still inside D50. Kendall plays on, goes long down the wing. Players set themselves. Gorder gets a big fist in there. It goes over the back. Donnybrook runners were there, but Versace thwarted their attempt, and now they're all over them. Perkisic laying a tackle. And just over there on far wing, just outside the centre square, there will be a ball up. They go. Pedley gets first hands on this one.
He's getting high, isn't he,
umpire's
Pedley?
found a free kick. Pedley pushed after he won the knock.
He started well as Pedley.
Gave a handball to Waldrett. He goes to the half-forward flank, and it's taken by Crane. Crane gives it off to No, it wasn't Baskerville, was it? Yeah, Baskerville, and Baskerville's got the ball inside 50. Now, South Bunbury have had a shot on goal, and that's through Richie Bourne with a bit of class. Easy as you like.
That was outstanding.
Easy as you like, Craney, with this fluky breeze.
Tell you what, Macca, that's already a contender for Western Oil Pair Services goal of the day. Yeah. He launched that from around 50, turned on to, and seen the goal square was open and thought, I'm going to have a crack at that. And he sure did. Bounced right on the line and bounced true.
He's licking his lips.
Yeah,
Craney is licking his lips.
Enjoyed that immensely.
And it's good for him to have a good start. Just commiserations out there to young Will Pedley, who buried his grandmother Maureen Pedley last Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been South Bunbury all in that first little bit of this game, hasn't it? They've been pushing into the forward line.
Donnybrook haven't got it over halfway at this point in time, and it's looking very ominous. One down by Gregory. Perkisic head over the football, trying to earn a free. It's actually here. Trying to earn a free kick. Now it's taken by Jackson. He tumbles it forward and taking the ball out in front is Fraser. Plays on, gives it to Perkisic now. He's run on, has a bounce. It goes inside with an underground football. I don't think it was intentional. It's taken, but he's butted up and got it back. Now he goes out to the pocket. That's a good pass.
Gee, I tell you what, that was outstanding. When you make a bit of a blue and you go back, get the footy, and he's too good a player to make two in a row. You can always pick him out by the green boots if you're looking for that, Macca. They stand out. But that was outstanding. A good setup, and it'll be a good reply for the Donnybrook Footy Club. Their first real foray into the 50.
And Sean Lynch was the man who's taken the mark out in front, and he's going to kick from about 25 metres, almost dead in front. And he comes, right foot, sends it on its way, and it's a miss to the near side for him.
Yeah, he went like that. They need to make the most of every opportunity. Yep. That South Bunbury defence doesn't let you in there very often, but Perkisic was outstanding.
They look to be kicking into a breeze, Donnybrook.
Yeah, because that trick has gone a long, long way.
It has. Taken by Bourne out on the wing. Bourne unloads on his left boot and right out on his own.
How's the transition of
Blaine
this play?
Johnson. He's outside 50, 60 metres, just pops it over the top, asking a bit of Piggott. Ball hits and pitches, and it's rolled on, and there's a goal to Johnson.
Wow, how far do you reckon that was, Macca? That was outside.
Well, he was 60
50.
when he let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. It rolled on the bank.
It probably pitched just at the top of the square, so it travelled 60 in the air, then bounced another 20.
Actually, I spoke to him on the way in, and I said, give us a good highlight for it. Well, you did that already, Blaine, because that was outstanding. We're going to put you down for the Western All Pest Services nomination for Goal of the Day, because that went a long, long way. And even that kick-in from down the back, as I said, there must be a fair bit of breeze following behind there, Macca, because that went a long way, and that transition was
went straight to the middle of the ground.
Very, very quick.
Straight to the middle of the ground, and Bourne very clever and able to spot up Johnson on the lead outside 50. Johnson just turned around and backed him. So I thought he was trying to chip it over for Piggott to run onto, to be honest. Pedley wins this one down. Waldred overruns it. Perkisic with him, and the umpires found a free kick. Crane takes the advantage. Dummies one, then goes on his right foot out to the forward flank. Coming out again is Johnson, brings the ball to ground. He's got Giblet with him, keeps it in play cleverly. He could go for 2 in a row, but he doesn't. He goes to centre it up. Clever, good vision. Ball goes to ground, picked up by Cormac, and he's missed to the... He's got it.
Yes.
He's got it, Jace Cormac.
Jace Cormac doesn't get...
This is looking...
Doesn't waste too many opportunities. Blaine Johnson, outstanding again there. He is really on fire, isn't he?
Oh, Croney, I know that it's quite a strong breeze, but this is looking pretty ominous already.
That breeze, I know it was fairly solid out, but that ball's carrying a long way.
It is.
Good kick by Johnson. He had a bit of weight on that, just went over the back. Cormac, all class coming into it.
Very unselfish, because he would have been within his rights with this breeze to have a crack on goal, Johnson, especially after the last one. Yep.
Actually, he hasn't had his kicking boots on late. He's been kicking a lot of goals, but he's also been kicking a lot of points. So a good start by him.
Rightio. Up they go. One down by Pedley.
He's winning that ruck.
Waldred takes it out of the middle. No. Kendall puts his head over it. Coming in's Bain to tackle him. As we settle into this match, Croney.
Pedley's getting up very high in the ruck for the young man, isn't he? He's getting first hands of the footy.
He's getting more and more confident every week I see him. He wins this one down again. Donnybrook squirt the ball forward though, up to the half-forward flank. Daring overruns it. And then South Bunbury clear the football. Comes out, looks to be Chitty out here on the wing.
Another matchup for you, Macca, for Southern Lachlan Security. Crosman's gone to Cooper Clark Daring, so two very good young footballers. Of course, Crosman, one of the best defenders in the league, so interesting to see how the young fella handles that. And the ball is finally gone over the boundary line and just in front of the Donnybrook dugout there. They'll throw it in basically centre wing on the members' side. One down by Pedley again. Crane really sharp with his hands. Bourne has to go back and get it. He's met hard. And then emerging's Perkisic, and he's really put the bit between his teeth. Thumps it to centre half forward. They fly, no one can mark. Now it's picked up by Cooper Clark Daring. Goes on his left foot, comes off the side. Lynch sets after it. Gorda with him. Goes over the back, Lynch. Dribbler. And it's only behind. It was good by Donnybrook. They just kept going there. Perkovic is a very good player, and he come out of that pack under enormous amount of pressure. But as you said, right in front of the Harvey Norman interchange bench, where quite a few good onlookers are going to have to use that bench very wisely this afternoon. And Gorda goes bang, and it's on centre wing with a blink of an eye. Donnybrook gather, but then they're tackled. Picked up by Gregory. He gets it on his left foot, but it's a bit of an up and under. They come out. Umpires found a free kick. And it's going the Donnybrook way. 100 games this afternoon for Todd Gregory. Gregory puts it up to full forward. They fly. No one can mark the football. Coming out there on the right boot across the shoulder. It's a good kick there by Potter, and he's kicked the first goal for Donnybrook. Yeah, that was well worked by the Dons, wasn't it? That was just consistent pressure and pressure and pressure. And it was smart. There was one up. Potter stayed down, got the ball, and you need to finish. And as I said, they have had a couple of pings at it, made the most of that one. It's a pretty clever goal in the end by Potter. And did we put him a nomination in as well, do we? No, not with the two we've seen from Bourne. Gee, you're a hard man, mate. No, it was regulation, Craney. I kicked 100 of those in my day. We're looking for a CPR outdoor centre. Wasn't even his opposite boot. It was from 20 metres out. Do you reckon we're going to find a mark of the day, CPR outdoor centre? I think we will, because they're tough conditions. Even though there's a breeze, it's still... it's not wet or slippery, so if someone can get on someone's shoulders, I'm sure it'll stick, particularly if they're jumping into the breeze. If you get my drift. Ball's one down by Gregory. Pardon the pun. And Kendall clears it out. Getting after it
is Harris. He's bungled off the football, but the umpire has found a free kick, and it's going the way of Harris, saying he was bungled off unfairly or met high. He goes with a short pass and finds Hare, who's getting a little bit of the footy. He gives it off to a teammate who dribbles it forward. Perkisic inside 50, lurking, can't get rid of it. Unlucky not to be penalised. I didn't think it was correct disposal, but the umpire said jarred free in the tackle.
Yeah, congratulations, Todd Gregory from Donnybrook Football. Play your 100th league game this afternoon. He's a very good
Magnificent
ruckman,
effort. Magnificent effort. Righto, a little bit of rain starting to fall here now, Alan.
Yeah, I'm just watching all this gear we got in front of us.
Daring in the ruck with Crossman. Ball comes to ground. No one can really pick it up cleanly. They all scrap for it. It's right out in front of Donnybrook's goals, about 40 metres out. Umpire blows his whistle and said, all right, boys, you've had enough time. I'll throw it up, eh?
It is a bit of a scrap at the moment.
Yeah. And South Bunbury 3-1-19 to Donnybrook 1-2-8. Ball gets put down. It's Versace gathers. Then he gets a handball out to Gorda, who then finds Bodie Nordle.
Yep.
Welcome back, Bodie Nordle. He's at just on D50, comes out of it now and comes down this member's wing. They sit underneath it. No one can mark. Ball clears the pack. Ball was taken there by Hussey, gave a handball away to Jackson. Jackson got it up the wing and he found a teammate in Coates. Coates puts the ball in the teeth of goal. It's cleared the pack. There's a Brandon Jeddock got the ball on his right foot for Donnybrook. Lynch overruns it. It's hard going up there in the forward line.
Shepherd.
Versace gathers the ball and once again, Craney, a big long kick up to the wing.
Yeah, it was the
ball.
Shepherd down back that created a bit of space. You're looking for
That was Jones. No, they've got it up to half forward now. Have South Bunbury's picked up there by Ethan Nordle. But the umpire's blown a whistle and found a free kick to Donnybrook. So the ball taken there by Bolton. And now Donnybrook have it at centre forward. Big fly by Versace. Missed everything. Jetta gets a handball out to Lynch. Lynch is battling really hard. Hasn't had it all his way. Versace picks it up off the deck in front of the scoreboard and just chips it outside 50 and finds a teammate who brings it up to the wing. And that's Jones. Jones coming into the middle of the ground, asked a bit of Crane. Perkisic intercepted, brought it to ground. Crane finds a footy. Handball to Pedley. Pedley in turn to Ethan Nordle. Now Jones has it on the run. He goes over the top looking for Waldrett. Not a great handball. Coates picks it up and a very slick handball to Jackson, who looks to be the distributor of half-back for Donnybrook today. And good mark in front there by Crossman. Got it across to Gorda. Gorda finds Crane. Crane by hand. Goes back to Crossman. Crossman to Gorda, who's run up as well. On his left foot, it's a sizzler inside 50. Johnson, push forward, earns a free kick. The ball's run on, but it's going to come back. So he's already kicked one from 60, Craney. This one he'll kick from about 55, almost dead in front.
His work rate is outstanding, isn't it? When he heads towards the footy, it is 100 mile an hour. There's no, there's no tentative whatsoever. The
funny thing, Craney, and I'm sure you saw it as well, with all due respect to Clayton Giblett, the ball was already going over the pair.
Yeah.
And Gibbett panicked and put a hand in his back and pushed him over. He gets to 49, sets sail. It's a beautiful looking drop punt. He gives a double fist pump. The umpire puts the two fingers up and South Bunbury have got another one. Johnson's second.
That movement through the centre of the ground is very hard to stop if you're an opposition player. Everyone says man up. Well, you can't when they run the ball like that because once you create the overlap, you end up with a hole.
Overlap's the word, Craney. How good were Crossman and Gorda? They both were involved in the rebound off half-back. Then they were up on the wing receiving it from Crane and involved again. And then it was a beautiful kick inside by Gorda.
Yeah, no, that's very hard to stop when it goes down like that. And Johnson... Well, we've, hard to be critical of bloke who's kicked that many goals, but if there was one of criticism was his accuracy. Well, 2 from 2 this afternoon.
The rain's still starting to come, still light sprinkling, and it's 4-1-25 South Bunbury to Donnybrook, 1-2.
Horseman into the ruck at the moment.
Ethan Nordle tried to burrow his way through. Perkisic picks the ball up. Umpire said he led with his head, no high tackle. And South Bunbury bound away through Ethan Nordle. Got it out there to his brother Bodie. Bodie receives it from Ethan, and a little short pass finds Crane outside 50, puts in a bullet and finds Johnson on the chest. This man is on fire, Crane.
He is at that.
Call 000. We need to douse him with some water.
Bring in Hearthhouse, mate. Hearthhouse, if you want.
He's on
some
fire.
Good
He's on fire for Hearthhouse.
Yeah,
it's good.
That was a good lead, good kick too. You'd like to lead to that leg, wouldn't you?
45-degree angle, and he'll kick from about 35 off the right boot. Puts it up nice and high. He is reading this wind like a book. 3 to Johnson, and this man, like we've said, Craney, he's on fire for Hearthhouse.
That was excellent bit of footy. Nothing the back line can do about that. Absolutely. You give a metre on and the kick comes in as good as that. And as he said, 3 from 3. We had a little bit of a chat outside. He said, watch out for me, Craney. No, he didn't.
Oh,
but he started off very well. That's an entertaining game of footy.
Well, he's
so
a
far.
quality player. Was he on Carlton's list at one point?
He was at that. I'll tell you what, the Harvey Nearman interchange bench, there's a lot going on down here, isn't it? The
ringing the
whiteboards are out.
changes. It's 5-1, 31 to Donnybrook, 1-2-8, and Craney. I know we've got the strong breeze. So
it's not a cyclone though, is it, mate?
But South Bunbury are creating a cyclone.
It's very dull out there.
Yep.
Glad these lights are on.
They look like they're enjoying themselves, South Bunbury. And that's one down by Gregory. And it's pushed forward by Fraser to send half forward for Donnybrook. Picked up by Piggott, handball to no one in particular, and the ball squirts inside 50 for Donnybrook. Lynch picks it up, brought to ground, spills it out. Picked up beautifully by Donnybrook, and then a handball back there, but now it's intercepted, and it's kicked out of the fence by South Bunbury as Wright sets after it for South Bunbury. Brings it back, looking for Horsman, gathers it on the bounce, wobbles it back to the half-forward flank, picked up there by South. So they've stripped of it, and there's going to be a ball up 55 metres out, 45
Donnybrook
degree
are
angle
working very
far
hard. There's
side.
no worries about that. It's just that trying to stop that ball movement from defence into attack.
Yeah, they rebound pretty quickly. Kendall, head over the footy, gets it out, picked up by Piggott, gets a handball away, sort of. It's gone about 20 metres forward, and the umpire will ball it up.
That was one of those sort of handballs, was it, Mac?
Yeah, well, he handballed it straight into his opponent's back. So up they go, in between wing and half forward for South Bunbury, and it's snapped out of there by Bain. He's very good at that at the stoppage. Floating
nice
back
too.
in defence beautifully was Hussey. And he's come in up the corridor and found Kendall. They'll really want him to get his skates and get moving. He's a good player, Jacob Kendall, when he gets going. Tried to get it there to Fraser, but he was mobbed by South Bunbury players.
Well
Tyson Lane, spin out of trouble. Johnson tries to scoop it off the deck. Oh, they've met hard there at 25 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Getting after it. Good work. And it's won by Hamish Hutton, who runs it out of the fence and floats it over out there in front of Harris. Harris tracks the ball to the line, praying it goes over, and it does. So it'll be a throw in. 55.
Tyson Lane has stood up this year for the Tigers too as a young
He was terrific
young gun.
on that long weekend game, Craney. I think he won the medal. He runs out and presents beautifully. And he moves well. Ball's one down by Horsman. It's in dispute now. Bourne just keeps it in, gets a handball back to Ethan Nordell. He has a look around and then just goes whack on the right boot. Can't be marked by Johnson. Lane picks it up, does it. Little shimmy, gets it back to Johnson. He's met solidly.
That was
Umpire
a brilliant
says playing
tackle.
Giblet. Handballed straight into Gallagher. Flying shot on goal, out on the Barry ball.
He read that very well, did Gallagher then too, but just didn't quite have the finish.
It's going to be brought back into play by Hutton.
We're looking for a tackle of the day too today, thanks to Bunbury Mother Service, Macca.
Well, hopefully... Well, it looks like it's going to have to come from Donnybrook because they're the ones chasing a bit of tail at the moment, mate.
I tell you what, it's been pretty fierce to start with.
Having a bit of trouble getting the footy from the terracing. The boys from Chicket Treat won't get out of the van, Craney, and help them out.
That's right.
It's not like they look real busy over there either.
Just look at it. There's a player coming off around through the terraces, so I'm not quite sure what's happened here.
That looks like Lucy, is it? Kai Lucy?
It does.
And flying was Bodie Nordell. Couldn't mark. Kendall gets it off the deck. Gives it off to a teammate who then is absolutely met solidly, brought to ground. Bodie Nordell, good to see him in the thick of things.
The Dons, the last thing they want is injury, so I've got a lot out this afternoon.
Absolutely.
They don't need any more.
And Kai Lucy's one that plays pretty well for them through the middle, but he's limping terribly.
Yeah, he's
past us now. Won by Bain. Puts a spiral inside 50. Johnson comes out to meet it. The bouncer losing. Scoops it up with the right hand. Onto the right boot over the shoulder.
There you go.
Number 4. Mate, that is play of the day, Craney. Have we got one of those?
We have that.
Play, peak performance, City and Regional Fuse.
Wow.
Bain, Johnson, take a bow. And, mate, he's got 4 goals and 2 of them are contenders for the Western All-Pest Services goal of the day.
They don't come much better than that. How was the scoop up? Just the one-handed.
Class.
Oh, he is turning it on all right.
Is it his birthday today?
I don't know, but he started off
because he's
well.
having one.
Wow. Kai Lucy, I'm a bit worried about it because he might have just come straight off the ground there, you know.
He jumped the fence, so he won't be returning.
He'll be out for the game.
Or was he giving it a test out maybe? I'm not sure. But
I'm not sure either. I just seen him walking the terraces. I thought it's a bit early to go upstairs yet. So,
rightio.
Gee, it's been a big quarter by the Tigers.
Gregory and Horsman. 6-1 to 1-2. Horsman wins this one down. Picked up by Gregory. Another up and under by him. They sit underneath it. Big fist. Ball comes to ground. Crane fighting for it. Getting in there's Bain as well. There'll be a ball up just about 2 metres to the right of the centre circle.
You're just trying to find where Donnybrook will get the answers there. They're just very slick when they get the footy. One
down by Horsman, just really slapped that. Chitty grabbed as he took the football, and the umpire's going to ball it up. And we're back almost in the centre circle. In fact, we are in the centre circle, Alan. Rightio, up they go again. This one's one down by Gregory. Coming in and meeting it beautifully is Bain, though, and he's tackled. Comes off the outside of the right boot of Fraser and goes forward for South Bunbury of all. Wright tried to trap the footy, couldn't. Ball's just bouncing, bobbling around like it's on a pinball machine, and it goes out of play. And there'll be a ball in at a high half forward for the South Bunbury Tigers on the far side.
Well, we've got a bit of a break in play, Mac. A bit of a shout out to Mr. Kendall with his feet up north. Really enjoying the hot weather.
He'll be listening.
He'll be watching the SEN Spirits telecast.
Ball comes back into play. Taken there by Bain. He's tackled. So,
tell you what, we thought the goal kicking might be a bit hard with that fluky breeze, but 6-1's a pretty handy return for a quarter.
Absolutely, Craney. Dale Alcock, Southwest, with the ball ins today. Ball's taken now away by Donnybrook as they go down that wing. I think that was Hare. Pushed it up. Oh, good effort. Good flyer to mark there by Potter. Wheels around, sets sail on goal. It bounces just to behind.
Do you know the best
out
thing
of
about
bounds, actually?
Best thing about that was he flew for the mark, but his recovery was outstanding.
It was.
That's what you want.
He bounced up beautifully.
We're a little bit critical of the Eton players last week because they stayed on the ground and out of the contest. That's a good example of what to do.
Ball coming into play by Sawyer, and that's a game plan, Craney. Kick it as far as you can with these breeze. They've got it 70 metres out there, just in front of the centre square. They're about to emerge. Potter was there again, couldn't quite gather it this time. Then it was taken, don't know who that player is, Craney, number 21 for Donnybrook. I'm not sure he's on the list.
Trent Brown.
Crane emerges with the football. They're still at the top of D50, South Bunbury.
That's who that is, Macca. Trent Brown.
Righto. Ball's up by the umpire. It's one down by Gregory. Taken there by Galloway. He gets on his left foot and the ball's hit and pitched as Bourne sets after it now. He's got a bit of class, this boy. Picks it up, got a bit of space.
Too.
Looks inboard immediately. Tried to get it to Gallagher, couldn't. Ball goes to ground. Gallagher shovels it out to Waldrett. Waldrett by hand. Beautiful kick in by Chitty, but it is marked on the chest, intercepted beautifully.
He changed his mind there, did Kev Chitty. He was going to go long, then went short, and ended up dropping it in the middle.
Hussey's playing well for Donnybrook as Hare has the football.
Getting a lot of footy, isn't he?
Wobbles one up. Bain gathers the football in the middle of the ground, comes across to Piggott. Piggott's in the corridor. He looks out, and that's a beautiful kick and lead to Jones. Jones 60 out, wheels around on the right ball, puts in another bullet lane. Can't mark it. Ball goes over the line. Archer Coates sees that over. So it looks like Coates has broken glass and pushed him into defence, Craney.
They're under enormous pressure, aren't they, that defence for Donnybrook, because of the way the ball's coming in.
Yeah. Right next to the right point post for South Bunbury. Ball's brought back into play for Dale Alcock Southwest. Ball just isn't won by any ruckman, and it's brought to ground. There's a tackle, and so now they'll do a ball up for KFC. Just probably at 30 metres out on the 45-degree angle on the members' side here for South Bunbury. No ruckman wins the knock. That was Giblet that tried to tap that down for Donnybrook.
Ooh.
Umpire letting it go.
Pick going on in there too.
Absolutely. And looks like just going to ball it up in the same spot again. Pedley flies, wins it by the tip of his fingernails, got it to Waldrop. Waldrop trying to kick it off the ground, but umpire said, I'll ball it up.
Let's do it all again, Mako. Deja vu.
Yep, third time in this spot, so look for a free kick, Craney.
Yeah, normally the way it works, isn't it?
Up they go. Gregory wins this one, takes it out of the ruck, then hacks it forward, probably get insufficient intent if it stayed, but Piggott keeps it in, goes to don't argue, then handballs it. Umpire says holding the ball.
Mate, we're going to put that down for a Bunbury Mower Service tackle of the day. That was outstanding.
Cooper Clark-Dering. He's right. He's a long way from home, Cooper Clark-Dering. Right on the half-back flank. Comes back on, plays on now. Goes long down the wing. They set themselves. Really good mark by Potter, who's having a red-hot go. Gives it by hand to Harris. Harris goes into the middle of the ground and finds Harton. Harton by hand gets it across there to Hussey. Hussey's run down and then goes inside.
Wow,
Beautiful pass.
That was excellent, wasn't
Fraser.
it? That was very, very good ball movement by Donnybrook, and they turned the tables on South Bunbury.
It's a 50-metre Craney too for pushing the back after the mark.
Wow, that discipline.
And Fraser puts his first through for the day. Donnybrook second.
That'll give Donnybrook a bit of confidence, wouldn't it? They turned the tables on South Bunbury. South Bunbury were all looking forward, and they turned around the back, left the outer wing open.
Good football.
Which opened it up, and Fraser on the end of it, and made an absolute certainty of it.
Started by Potter, who's been getting a bit of dirty ball, but he's presenting and he's hard at the contest, Craney.
I'll tell you what, he's taken the best mark so far of the day for the CPR out to centre too.
So South Bunbury 6-1 at 37, Donnybrook 2-10. 14.
A much-needed goal for Donnybrook, but
if
just the way they went about it.
If they can squeeze another one in here...
They've done very well against the breeze.
And hold South Bunbury, they'd be pretty happy at quarter time, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. Modern-day footy, that is not a big margin.
Gregory and Pedley to go at it again. Up they go. No one wins the knock. Taken there by Hare, throws it on the right boot. But it's met beautifully there by South Bunbury, who get the ball out. And then a big spiral there from Jones. And they all fly. It's inside 50 for South Bunbury now, right in front of their goal. Lane storming through, gets a handball out to Chitty. Chitty goes to sidestep, left foot, goal. The quick reply to South Bunbury, which is not what Donnybrook wanted. But Craney, that is a contender not only for play of the day, peak performance, city and regional fuels, but also for goal of the day for Western All Pest Services. Team goal of the day.
Jones ripped a spiral there, and that just kept going and going over the top of everyone's head. Chitty did very nicely too. Didn't panic, showed a fair bit of experience. And that's the key, isn't it, Mako? When the goals come up, you don't panic. He just worked it out very well, and ended up popping one through for South and took about a quick reply. That was 0.3 seconds,
It'll be interesting to see how South Bunbury go in the second quarter. Now they know what this breeze can do. And how they play it in the second quarter.
I think the actual way they move the ball, it won't
affect it. They won't change anything. Well, it's taken a bit of time to find the footy because I think it went out back past the ticket box, Craney, when Chitty got hold of that. But they're getting it back to the ground now. 7-1-43.
Can you just reach up and turn that air conditioner down a little bit, Maka?
Leading Donnybrook 2-14. All right, Pedley and Gregory. Been a pretty good battle so far between these two. One down by Pedley. He goes to pick his own ball, taken off it when he didn't have, and he's won a free kick. He looked to go to Crane, but he thought Crane was covered. Now he goes over the back to the hard-running Sawyer. Sawyer looks up a field. There's a good lead coming at him. It was a good kick. Couldn't hang on to it though. Bain comes back to Giblet. Donnybrook, who goes right into the middle of the ground. Oh, floating back beautifully. But Kendall, wasn't Kendall, it was Boyle. Nearly took a good mark for Donnybrook, but floating back into the pack beautifully was the South Bunbury
Almost
player.
did enough, didn't he?
Yeah. Just forward to centre for South Bunbury. One down by Pedley. Cormac comes at it. He's brought to ground.
Free kick to Donnybrook.
Free kick to Donnybrook. Just behind the centre. Taken, who's that player again, Craney? 21? Brown. And then he gets it out to the wing O'Hare. He's knocked over, picked up by Piggott. Looking for someone to give it to. Tried to go over the shoulder, but he bellied the ball. It bounces towards the wing. Pedley trying to keep it in and does. Gets it to North. Oh, no, he didn't. Umpire says throw it in right on centre wing on this member's side.
Right in front of the hub. He normally needs to change bench there. Macca?
Absolutely. And they're ringing the changes there. We need Harthouse here right now, Craney.
Yeah, right in front of the legs are frozen under this table.
There was another ball in for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes, and Crane wraps it up just on centre wing here. There's Kendall. Of course, he's always the last man up out of the pack. Up they go. One down by Gregory. Piggott takes it, hooks it over his right shoulder and tumbles it forward. He gets to half forward. Coming out Giblet. Ball eludes him. Picked up there by Chitty, got it to Bourne. He puts it up for Johnson, can't mark. Lane's there fighting for it on the ground. Comes back to Gallagher. This time, will he get in a leg break? Johnson sits after it. It's another point to Gallagher. Or no, a point to
Just
Gallagher.
a quick around the grounds for Geograph Civil to HBL 5-6-36. They leave Dunsborough. Your boys, Macca, yet to score.
Oh, dear. Sounds like a car crash. Ball comes back into play. Donnybrook finds here inside 50, but there's a siren for quarter time. Craney, South Bunbury 7-1-43. Donnybrook 2-2-14. It'll be interesting to see how this second quarter plays out.
That was on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. Yeah, pretty entertaining first quarter footy, actually. The ball zipping around a bit, pretty intense. We'll be back after the break for quarter two. Back to Hands Oval, where we see the Tigers off to a fairly good start, albeit they had the breeze. That's 7 goals to 44. They lead Donnybrook 2 goals to 14 in what was a pretty entertaining game of footy. Goals for South Bunbury. Blaine Johnson's off to a flyer 4. Kevin Chitty has 1. Richie Bourne has 1. And Jace Cormac has 1. Ben Fraser has 1 for Donnybrook, as does Kyle Potter. Kyle Potter very good in that quarter. But pretty entertaining first up, Macca.
Oh, yeah, the ball's flinging around a bit and both sides are having a red-hot go. But I think what's making it entertaining is the ball movement of South Bunbury. And to kick the ball long, to open it up with that breeze, just it makes it free-flowing.
Thanks to MGIB too, like a good neighbour, MGIB is there. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they tackle going into what is a bit of a breeze. The ball did seem to carry a long way heading towards the Bustleton end rather than the city end. A couple of goals to Donnybrook, though, they were pretty handy. And the second one in particular, it was a good bit of ball movement. So that if they can keep that sort of process up, it'll go a long way to getting back into the game. Not far out of it, but see, this quarter will be very vital for the Dons.
And there was an attempt at a coaching move of the day, Craney, for the Bank of Queensland partway through that quarter when South Bunbury were just performing an onslaught, and they switched Archer Coates from half forward to half back to try and stem the flow a bit. Yeah,
well, that's beauty Archer Coates, isn't he? He's been allowed to roam the forward line, but as I said, Donnybrook, Kai Lucy is a big loss for Donnybrook. Limped off right in front of us here. Didn't know whether he'll come back onto the game. Day. Thanks to KFC and our great mates at Dale Alcock Homes. This is SEN Spirit's coverage of the Southwest Football League, and we're just about to see whether the Dons can work their way back into it. This is quarter two. This is Darren McDonald.
It's a ball up for KFC. It's one down by Pedley. He then ropes up his own ball and then kicks it forward. High to centre half forward. They come at it. No one can mark. Taken by Hare of Donnybrook. Gets it to Kendall. Kendall just flings it forward with a handball. It's chopped off by Waldrett. Gets to 55 and goes inside. Bourne can't mark. Then roves it off the deck. Throws it over his shoulder. It's going back with the flight, and it's a good mark there to Donnybrook in the square.
Excellent defensive mark.
and then they bring it out the scoreboard side. Waldrett flies again, can't mark. Donnybrook off the ground, working really hard. Picked up there by Lucy, who looks like... Lucy's gone into fifth, but he's limping after that kick. And
that's a
he
big comeback.
drove it long, and the ball then was marked by Crane. Crane comes across to Gorder. They're just behind wing.
How's that? He limped in front of us. We're just calling him done for the day.
But he's still limping,
Crane,
and that's why they've just got him running in straight lines. Gorder, dummies, gets a handball away as he's tackled to Waldrett. Waldrett throws it out to Crane. Kicks it out to Crane, who marked it. He goes back to Gorder.
These boys just building up their stats.
They're doing a triangle exercise at training. Comes across the ground and finds Baskerville. He can't mark it. And a bit of pressure's applied there. Gorder comes in to save the day, and there's a tackle on him by Potter, and there'll be a ball up.
That's just building your stats, I think, over there with Gorder and Crane.
Yeah, Potter going for a Bunbury mower service tackle of the day, Craney.
He's been good, Potter, hasn't he?
Yeah, I like the intensity he brings. Up they go. It's one down by Donnybrook this time. Baskerville takes it, however, and kicks it forward for South Bunbury. Ball eludes the pack. Chitty can't pick it up either. Now he does. Gets a handball out there beautifully to Bodie Nordell. He got it to Bain, and Bain speared one into Ethan Nordell. He just walks off his mark and then mongrels one inside 50. Coming at it was Bourne, tapped it to Cormac. Ball's now picked up by Jones, gets a handball out, but only as far as Hutton for Donnybrook. And suddenly they're out of trouble, the Dons, as they get it to centre half back, and there's a mark taken by Fraser.
Good to see him in and amongst it too, Fraser.
He had a pretty good first quarter, Craney.
He did.
Come across the ground here to Kendall, just on the members' wing, still inside the centre square. Kendall comes off the outside of the boot, but trying to kick to a Potter lead, and Potter does very well. Craney, I know it's a chest mark, but that's a mark of the day.
CPR, I'll put that down.
Gets it to Giblett, who's run on, and then Gibbett mongrels it the only way Jimmer can up forward. Getting after it is Gregory. Cooper Clark Daring, the X Factor. Ball spat out to Gorder, and Gorder kicks around the corner to Bodie Nordell, but waiting there, Potter dropped what he should have taken. He gathers it again, gets it to 50. Good smother by Sawyer. Now it's picked up by Bodie Nordell. Goes handballing back to Gorder, and gets it outside of D50. Puts it to a 1-on-3. Asked a bit of Bain, and he did very well. Gathers it off the deck.
Extremely well.
Got it to Pedley. Got it to Ethan Nordell. To Bodie Nordell. And there's Crane waiting in the corridor. Still inside D50, the Tigers. Crane goes further across the ground to the far side and finds Jones, who's getting as much ball as I've ever seen him get. Goes up the wing.
That's a very clever
Chitty
kick.
on the run. Chitty takes the mark on the chest, plays on, goes to the half-forward flank. They sit underneath it. Ball bounces inside 50. Horsman can't pick it up. Cormac's there. He normally makes something happen, but there's going to be a ball up just inside.
That kick by Jones was
Bunbury.
excellent. It went over probably 45, 50 metres, but it was the exact advantage to Chitty. Didn't even have to drop a step. And when you can do that, it breaks open the defence.
Those expert comments thanks to MGIB. Like a good neighbour, MGIB is always there. As the balls come back out to Crane, he goes off the right boot. Inside 50, they fly, can't mark. Waiting at the back is the Donnybrook defender. Has a bounce.
He's got nowhere to come out of here.
Nowhere to go. And then he just puts it out on the half-back flank and asks the teammate to get onto it. But the only person there is Sawyer. Picks it up. The ball's going to come back inside. Not quite. Waldrett marks at 60. Bourne's on the lead. Ignores that. Now he goes to Bourne, and not the best kick, and marked there beautifully.
Donnybrook under pressure, but they're doing this pretty well.
Hussey's defending really well from Donnybrook. Brings it out to D50 on the far side, and away they go. Big long kick forward by Donnybrook. Daring! Great mark by Daring. Plays on now immediately. He's got Potter one in a one-on-one, and Potter takes a good mark on the chest. And the Dons here is going up at Don supporters. He's 20 metres out, dead in front, Craney. And I tell you what, Craney, CP outdoor centre, mark of the day.
You've put him down already? I've made a little note next to him.
Yep.
Macca.
Keep
that in your memory bank, because he did that very well.
A great one-on-one effort.
The one by Daring just in front of that wasn't too bad either.
A beauty. Absolutely. And then having the footy now to play on quickly, which created that one-on-one. No time for South Bunbury to get back. In comes Potter, shoots from 35, straight as an arrow. Donnybrook get there first for the quarter, and it's actually the first for the quarter.
Yeah, South Bunbury, we're just talking about, went inside 50 a heap of times, but the good Donnybrook defence, they just bottled it up and they managed to run it out. Because everyone had pushed forward, Macca, that left very few back in the Donnybrook forward line, and Potter, Daring seen that, he took a very good mark, he put it over the top, and Potter finished it off.
And Potter's got his second goal for the day, Craney, and he's pushing his case for the WA Carpet Supermarket Best On Ground.
Yes, I'll tell you what. Keeps that up, and
just his pure effort, Craney. Work rate across half forward's amazing.
Yeah, he doesn't mind going forward, pushing, grabbing a goal, but Donnybrook's still in this, aren't they? They're only 4 behind.
Well, that's always. I know we said it was a South Bunbury onslaught in that first quarter, but with this breeze, you can see how far it's travelling. Would be interesting to see what's happening at half time. One down there by Pedley, just Crane tackled when he didn't have it. Umpire says play on. Cormac picks it up and he's thrown on the deck. Umpire says, I'll have it. And it's young Bo Lucy in the ruck. Oh, a little bit of how you going there, Alan. The boys are just saying we haven't seen you since we were out at Buoyant Up.
Getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah, Lucy wins this knock, comes to Kai Lucy, and he's called a throw by the Donnybrook, by the South Bunbury player. And Bo Lucy, who's in the ruck chop out, has the ball in the middle of the ground. And he just flower bags it long. Here's that man Potter again. We're going to call him Harry Potter. He's showing that much wizardry at the moment. That much wizardry. Keeps it in play. Working hard with him was right.
I'll just quickly zip around the ground. Thanks to Geograph Civil Stores and Jesse Gribble breaking the Bunbury Games record over at Bunbury. They lead Harvey Bull 7 goals, 749 to 1 goal, 1-7.
Rightio. Ball back into play, 60 metres around from Donnybrook's goal. One down by Lucy. Picked up by Kendall. Oh, working in a phone booth. Gets out of it. Eventually gets on his boot. Puts it to the hot spot. They all fly.
Oh, it's
it's a good mark to Versace. Umpire says play on. I thought Versace had first hands, to be honest, Craney.
There were a lot of people going for our Western All Pairs CPR centre mark of the night. But no one brought it down.
Isn't it a wonderful contest, though, the game at the moment?
Oh, yeah, it's got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah. Up they go. It's one down by Gregory.
Oh.
Daring kicks his first. It's another goal by the X Factor King.
Wow, that's thrown the cat amongst the pigeon. We put that one down for a goal. I think we just about put every goal down, didn't we?
It's been a masterclass.
He did very, very well then, did Cooper Clark Daring. Didn't have much time or room, and he put it through nicely.
They've got 2 in a row for the first time today, Craney.
Yeah, no, just worked their way back in.
7-2-44 to 4-2-20.
That's on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard over there. Yeah. Or over there, whichever one. There's 2 scoreboards at Hands Ovals here.
Rightio. Has there been a coach's move? Bo Lucy into the rucks added a bit of a little bit more drive in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, look, they're starting to win around the contest a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, thanks to the Bank of Queensland. Bo Lucy going into the middle of the ground with the coach's move. Up they go. One down by Bo Lucy again. Thumps it forward. First to arrives Crane, gets it to Piggott at centre half back. Piggott handballs over to Waldred. He spills it, but butters up. Gets it to Crossman. Crossman on his right boot. Puts it out in front of Piggott and he takes a mark on his chest. Right on the member's wing. Goes into the middle of the ground and he finds Waldred. Waldred goes to Gorda. On his favoured left. He just puts in a short pass looking for Nordal. And then's a mark by Donnybrook. It's come down found Gregory. Gregory's got enough time to turn. Has a bounce, the big man. Looks inboard. Mongrels it in and Versace's there and juggles the mark. Intercept mark. Plays on immediately. Out to Sawyer. Sawyer takes a mark on his chest. He can go if he wants and he does. Has a bounce. Gets it outside of 50 now. Chips it up the wing. It's to a one-on-one. Giblet does very well. Big Gibber. Juggles the ball to the line and eventually gets it over. Clayton Giblet.
Jake Boyle coming off the Harbour interchange bench for the Donnybrook Footy Club as Todd Gregory has a spell. Wore himself out with that bounce, I think.
It was a very awkward run by the big man. And it's at half forward for South.
No, he's coming back off. That was the quickest stint you ever see on the ground.
It's at half forward for South Bunbury on the far side. No one really rings the ruck. balls in dispute on that wing. Wing ball's picked up by South Bunbury, brought to ground straight away.
That's the quickest. No rotations, but that was about a 2-minute rotation. And Hamish Hutton comes back on.
Maybe. Up they go. Pedley tries to take it out of the ruck, tackled straight away, brought to ground. Umpire says I'll have it, so it's going to be the third ball up in a row at half forward, left half forward for Donnybrook. Up they go. One down by Pedley, spits out the back to Waldrett, gathers it, fakes, gets on his left, it's smothered. Now South Bunbury get it forward, up to the wing, and Giblet standing tall, eyes on the foot, he takes a good mark. Now he just drives it long. It's gone into that right, left forward pocket. Good floating across there by Jetta, couldn't mark it. Crane has it, he's out of play, and there'll be a throw in just outside 50 for Donnybrook.
Yeah, putting a bit of pressure on the Dons, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They can sense they're in this game. That breeze is a factor, Craney. It's a big factor. Rightio.
It's a chill factor, Mac.
Pedley and Lucy. Bo Lucy it is. One down by Pedley. They all pounce on it. Bourne can't get hold of it. Ball spills out. Donnybrook. Hackett forward. Comes into full forward. No one can mark. Daring can't pick it up. It's picked up by Wright, and he just thumps it out of defence. And a good mark on the chest of Crane, who's having a good afternoon. Goes to centre half back. And there's a good mark there.
Great grab.
Taken, very good mark taken by Bolton.
Yeah,
he picks it up.
Him a
goes
nomination.
Inside, but it's chopped off by Horsman. Horsman then brings it out of defence. Sitting underneath it was Ethan Nordell, pushed as he went to mark it. Umpire says free kick. Gives it to Jace Cormack under a heap of pressure. Ethan Nordell gets it back from him, and then it goes to Wright. Wright mongrels a kick. Chitty finds himself with the football on the wing. Gives it to Waldrett. Gathers well. Comes back to Sawyer. He's having a good quarter. Goes back across the ground.
Donnybrook putting a lot of pressure
and
on.
Finds Galloway.
Normally South in the first quarter were getting that through, but Donnybrook are up the ante.
Galloway back out to the wing to Waldrett. Took the mark. Gave it on to Ethan Nordell, who's run on, and he just pumps it inside 50. And marking on the chest, Johnson, who had the hot hand in the first quarter, Craney.
Yeah, he's shooting for goal number 5 here.
Yep. Definitely a contender for WA Carpet Supermarket Player of the Day. He swings from outside 50 against the breeze. Got the shelter from the big stand there, though. And he'll kick this from about 55. Gets to 52. And it mongrels off to the side.
Fair to say that wasn't his best kick of the day, mate.
He tried to kick it too hard like one other young fella a week ago. And it went out of it. This one went out on the full. Ball to be brought back into play.
Hope he's not listening to your commentary. He
doesn't listen to my commentary. He hates it. There's Kendall. Mark on the chest at centre half back for the Dons. Goes long down the wing. Oh, there's a big fly there by Galloway. Gathered the ball off the deck. Dumped inside. Umpires found a free.
Oh.
It was a good...
We would have got the mark of the day then too.
The free to Kendall. Inside D50. Kendall. Piggott came, but it was a really good mark in the end of Brown. He plays on. Goes long. It's at half forward for the Dons now. Comes off the pack to Horsman. Horsman spits it out to Versace, takes the ball, turns and goes up the wing, kicks it misdirected, and it finds Hare for Donnybrook. So they inch it forward, contest by contest, the Dons.
Yeah, but the Dons have stopped that run from South Bunbury, which has been pretty
Absolutely
impressive.
They have, and Bolton has the footy. Then he looks up, tried to get it to Kendall. Kendall's absolutely mugged as he grabbed the football.
Yeah, it had to be spot on for Kendall then, but it wasn't.
It's almost like you're seeing deja vu, because every time Kendall gets off the ground and throws the ball to the umpire. One down by Gregory, picked up by Bain of South Bunbury. Ball spills out. Kendall has it now. On his right foot, hooks it over. Waiting there beautifully is Crossman. Good job by the defender. Now he goes in, looks it, finds a teammate on the lead. And that's a good mark to Waldrett. Getting better as this game comes on.
He's been impressive today,
He's been good at half forward. Goes on his favoured left. He's got a lead out there from Johnson, but coming in is Hussey. This boy's been good, Craney.
Very, very good for the Dons.
He's chipped it in and found Hare. Hare goes across the ground. and finds Jackson. Jackson marks it, and he goes further across the ground to Hutton, and balls come back into play and finds Bedford, the youngster.
Another rising star is young Bedford. Thanks to Hemp
puts
Brothers,
a bullet
Western
into
Australia.
Fraser in the middle of the ground, and that was a great kick. Good lead, but Fraser had no choice but to mark that on the chest. It was an absolute bullet.
Yeah, he's a good player, the young Bedford.
Fraser now just pops it up to centre forward and getting out on the lead is Coates. What's he got? Has he got this in him, Crunny? He's just popped it up to the hot spot. They sit underneath it. Daring pushing the back. Umpire saw it. So
Versace did pretty well. He just took a step back then.
Yep.
Daring had to run at the footy.
So Versace in the back pocket, brings it out and finds Wright, who marks it just under Jones, who marked it just under his fingertips. Jones still inside D50, gets it up the wing. Stepping in front was the Donnybrook player in Brown, in Bolton, and he was tackled. It's still on the wing here. Giblet throwing his body around. Goddard shovels out a handball, picked up by Hare, finds Bolton, comes to Kendall, ducks his head. Now he's in trouble. That'll be holding the ball. Yes, because he ducked his head and he had an opportunity, Craney.
Yes, that's right. I tell you what, he's a goer, isn't he, young Kendall?
I love him. He gives his heart and soul every week. Ethan Nordell from that tackle goes across, finds Crossman on the point of the square. Crossman goes to play on, no one there, gets it back to a teammate, Galloway, who then comes across to Jones.
That's how Bunbury flow has stopped. Credit to Donnybrook, haven't they? It's a bit stop-start.
Jones, nearly tricked himself there, but this goes long to centre forward. No one there. Coates, eyes on the ball, customary for him. Takes a mark at centre back, goes to play on. Now he had to in a hurry because he was going to get absolutely pounded. Daring, 1-on-2, gets the ball down the ground. Crossman roves the pack. Tackled by Potter. Gets a handball away. No, he doesn't. Umpire said too long, and Potter's got the ball just inside the centre square. Picks it up, sends it on its way for Donnybrook. Coming out to meet it is the Donnybrook player. And he sounds like a crowd favourite. And the ball's at half back now for South Bunbury. It's picked up by Donnybrook. They call it. Who's that? 27 for Donnybrook, Craney. Oh, it's
that
Boyle.
Is Jake Boyle.
Boyle with the long sleeves. He was the one that had the shortest rotation in history.
Yeah, that's right. At least he's out there enjoying a bit of footy at the moment.
One down by Gregory. Ball's chipped away by Lynch. Pedley has it now. It's still out on that outer wing. Now it's picked up by Bolton. He goes to centre half forward, and that's a very, very good mark.
The strong hands.
To Donnybrook. They go long. Into the teeth of the goal. Floating across Crossman. Fantastic mark by him. That'd be a contender, Craney, and it's
that
come
would
to
have
Piggott.
to be, I reckon.
Come to Piggott now, just on the edge of D50, and then this young man has marked the ball again. Young Brown playing a good game for Donnybrook. Coming out to meet it is Piggott. Kendall wins the one-on-one, and then he's wrapped up by Sawyer and walked across the line. About 60 metres around from Donnybrook's goal, right in front of the social rooms here at South
Perfect
Bunbury.
for us, right in front of us.
Beautiful. Ball comes back into play. No, it was a ball up, was it? Was that a ball up, Craney? What was the go with that? Don't worry.
Just move on from that one, Magga.
Yeah. Righto, there's going to be a ball in right in front of the South Bunbury social rooms. We've got Gregory and Pedley setting themselves. One down by Gregory. It's going, miss Crane. It's off the side of the boot and out on the full, and it'll be a South Bunbury kick in.
Don't forget, we're looking, thanks to Hemp Brothers, Western Australia's most trusted hemp-based products, looking for the rising star.
Going back there, Piggott went right back to fullback, and a mark was taken there by Wright. He plays on now and kicks it long out to the far side, just on the edge of D50, coming in. A beautiful mark to Fraser.
No, it's kicked to Versace.
Versace. Free kick. Comes, handballs to Sawyer, runs, bounces, gives another handball away. And the ball's come back now for Donnybrook. They're on the lead, and in the pockets, Boyle! on the chest.
He's a crowd favourite,
He's
this young man.
the cult figure from Donnybrook.
Gee, I'll tell you what, if he kicks his...
He's really deep in that forward pocket. He'll be about 30 metres out, right side for a right footer.
I think he's got a lot of people kicking this with him, Macca.
Absolutely. And I tell you what,
do we give him the goal of the day if this goes through?
If he gets this, Craney, it's 3 in a row for the Dons. And he comes. Let's go on the right boot, wobbles it up. It's not going to make the distance. They play on and Daring claims the mark. Umpire pays it. It's another contender for CPR Outdoor Centre mark of the day. He just stood his ground and it was a really good contested mark.
He's got very strong hands, as Cooper Clark, Daring, and his arms seem to extend a little bit. And this is very good by the Dons.
3 metres out, slightest of angles, and he's missed it. He's fluffed it, Craney.
Oh, wow.
Just when they needed it.
That one won't go on the highlights rule.
I think he just relaxed a bit and laid back on that.
But as a young player, or any player, you make a blue, you just go back and fix it.
Yep. Unless the siren's gone and it's the last kick of the day. You have to wait till next week.
You do it that.
Here comes Gorda. Brings the ball back into play. Brings it up the corridor. Spots up Jones. He plays on immediately and gets it out to Bourne on the wing. Bourne's got Lane out on his own at half forward. He takes an uncontested mark. He's looking for options. Johnson's in the pocket. No, but he elects to go to the teeth of goal. It's a 2-on-2 floating across, but a good mark to Waldron.
That's where it hurts when you miss one like that and it swings down the other end.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you'd
11-point play.
Yeah, you'd expect Waldron to put this through. That was nicely played by young Lane too. Waited for the right opportunity, put it up nicely for Waldron, who, as you said, has been in very good touch.
Yep, liked his game. And here comes Cade Waldron. He's going to be kicking from directly in front, about 35 metres out, and he makes no mistake on his beautiful left foot kick, Craney.
Do you like young Cade Waldron, Matty?
I love him, Craney. I love him.
That was a very quick response, and that's what top sides do to you. You make a bit of a blue one end, and all of a sudden they'll go bang down the other end. And
Donnybrook have done a lot of attacking, a lot of hard work, Craney, and if young Daring had it kicked that makes it 3 in a row for them. He's missed it, and suddenly South Bunbury go back down the other end and get there first for the quarter.
Yeah, look,
and momentum gets taken away.
He does it that, but Donnybrook, look, that'd be pretty tough with what they've done this quarter. They've stopped that run from South Bunbury just a tad, made them think about the footy a little bit.
They'd like to be a bit closer at half time.
Yeah, you're right.
So they need 2 quick ones, Craney, so it gives us something to talk about at half time. Up they go. Gregory and Pedley. It's a 0-0 draw. Ball falls down the ground. Crane gets over it. He's got 35 Donnybrook blokes on him.
That's been a good duel in the ruck, hasn't it? Thanks to Southern Lock and Security.
Yep, it has. Up they go. One down by Pedley again. Missed by Jones. Spills to Ethan Nordell. He's got a bit of space. Puts a bullet into centre half forward. No one can mark. A good gather by Horseman. Tackled immediately by Giblet. Jeez.
That's another good battle going on. Matches within matches.
Craney like it.
Yeah.
MGIB, the expert comments from our man Alan Crane. Like a good neighbour. Ball clears the pack. It's in the pocket.
I don't know whether my neighbours think that.
Archer Coates has it deep in the back pocket. Oh, there's a kick off the ground. And that's a goal to Payne.
Yeah.
It's a goal to Payne. Jesus, suddenly they've gone bang, bang, South Bunbury and broken through.
That's what we were talking about. You need to be on them all the time. You give them a little bit of an inch and they take a mile, this South Bunbury side.
Yeah.
And they push away to a fairly significant lead again with a couple of goals in a couple of minutes.
And suddenly it's out to almost a 5-goal lead, 29 points.
With this weather like it is, step into Hearth House too and find your smart home climate control.
I wonder if we can call it from Hearth House on the screen, Craney, because
I'd like to have climate control here at the moment, Macca.
I think we might have to charge SEN double for this week. Rightio. Up they go. It's missed completely by the ruckman. Crane has been tigerish at the coalface today. Picked up beautifully by Donnybrook and thumped into the forward 50. Ball gathered there by Bo Lucy, he's tackled immediately. Hutton waiting, trying to gather the crumb. The Tigers are being very tigerish there in the pack, and there'll be a ball up just inside 50 for Donnybrook.
It's been a good game of footy to watch, no doubt about that.
Yep.
Hope Mr. Kendall's enjoying his little spell up north. Weather's nice up there.
Up they go. It's one down by Gregory. Kai Lucy can't pick it up. Bain has it, gets a handball out to, not quite to pick it. Jacob Kendall gets it back to Kai Lucy, throws on the outside of his left boot. Seems to have recovered okay from when he limped off Craney. Now, speaking of Crane, that was Sean Crane, missed the handball.
Oh, he's got it again.
Potter takes a mark in the square and is going to go back for his third.
Oh, he's still got
why are you trying to... Oh, no, umpire says play on. Jeez.
Oh.
The magic wand wasn't working that time, Crane. He should have just gone back and had a shot on goal. He was only 25 metres out.
Yeah, had a bit of a mind blank there, I think. For those
of you listening on the radio, he was on a 45-degree angle, 25 metres out. As he's going back, he's trying to get it into the corridor on his left side, and then he tried twice, so the umpire called play on, so he hooked it over his right shoulder. Anyway, Gorder brings it back into play. Gets it to the point of the square. They set themselves. No one can mark. Ball bounces on the deck. Cormac gets a fist in. Comes to Kendall. He slips over. Gets it back there to Hare. Thumbs up Potter. Can't mark it. Would have been special if he had of. Versace now on the deck. Ball still in play right up against the point post for Donnybrook. Potter has it again. Goes into the corridor. Out the back. Daring. Can't mark. Sawyer picks it up, keeps it in play and mongrels it forward about 40 metres. Ball pitches and goes out of bounds, off hands, and it's going to be a ball
At the end result of all that, Donnybrook have missed two they really should have had to go in. That would have put them in. That's what you're talking about, put them into half-time with a bit of confidence.
Absolutely. So what's the umpire saying here? It was out on the full. It was out on the full, so young Bedford's got the kick. 60 metres out from goal. A long way out, but with this breeze, not insurmountable. And he just goes for the hot spot. They come in
that
a good mark there to
kick.
Cooper Clark Daring. Out on the lead, out in front, one glove. This time he's probably 30 metres out, Craney, dead in front.
I'm going to chuck a nomination in for the Rising Star thanks to Hemp Brothers, West Australia's most trusted hemp-based products to young Bedford.
Oh,
this will be
bell,
very
Craney.
valuable. There's the siren for half-time.
They need it.
So, Cooper Clark Daring.
He's coming in for his second goal. Takes a big breath of air.
This would be great
starts
for the
his
Donnybrook
approach,
Footy Club.
Gets to 35, sets sail straight over the umpire's hat. And Donnybrook take a little bit of momentum into the half-time break, Craney.
Yeah, they needed that, didn't they? And they had a couple of opportunities before that to put a bit more pressure on South Bunbury. And on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, it's the South Bunbury 9 goals to 56 to Donnybrook. Have they changed that score up there yet?
Yes, they have, mate.
5 goals for 31. It is half-time at Hands Oval, and we'll be back in a moment with the Hungry Hollow Beach Bar and Grill half-time break. This is the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill's half-time break. Bunbury's iconic beachside bar. So if you ever want to go and have a nice meal and grab a bit of a refreshment, go up there and see the boys and girls. It is half-time at Hands Oval, and it's Bunbury 9 goals to 56 to Donnybrook's 5 goals for 34. A goal after the siren to Cooper Clark Daring just keeps Donnybrook in the mix. They worked their way back into that game very well. South Bunbury first quarter was excellent, but Donnybrook managed just to stop that run just a little bit. Their tackling pressure was awesome, and a good half of footy, Macca.
Yeah, great half of footy. It was all South Bunbury in the first quarter, banging on 7 goals, but then Donnybrook really fought it out towards the back end of that last quarter and then took that into the second quarter, and they won the second quarter, but a couple of missed opportunities there might have had them a bit closer at halftime, Craney. So scoreboard not really telling the true story of that first half, I believe.
Yeah, those couple of missed opportunities, didn't it? We spoke about the South Bunbury side. They'll keep at you for 4 quarters, so you need to be with them for 4 quarters. Easier said than done, though, because to keep mentally switched on for that long in a game of footy, pretty tough.
But those missed opportunities, Craney, they lay down bazaars on any day, and you can't let those sort of opportunities slip.
No, I totally agree with you. Donnybrook, look, they've worked pretty hard. They're not a long way out of it. The rain is starting to fall here at Hands Oval.
Yeah.
The temperature has definitely dropped, no doubt about that. Can you see Donnybrook being able to work their way? This third quarter, with that rain, it'll drop the effect of the wind heading towards that city end a little bit. So can you see Donnybrook getting back into it?
Well, anything's possible. It's a 4-goal deficit. If the wind dies away, which it doesn't look like it is, but it'll get slippery and scrappy. So whenever it rains, if you've got the lead, it's always a pretty good thing to have, and 4-goal lead's a pretty good lead at this stage, Craney.
Yeah, a few good players that we're going to have a look into. As I said, thanks to the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill. I know they got it on the big screen up there, so I hope you're enjoying the warmth of the Hollow Beach Ground and Grill, if you like. But the lights are on here at Hands Oval. We're going to come back after the break and have a look at the second half of this good game. CN Spirits coverage of the Southwest Football League. Proudly brought to you by KFC and our great mates at Dull Alcock Homes. It is the halftime show, thanks to the Hollow Beach Bar and Grill. A great spot sitting overlooking the ocean there to have a refreshment. Great food as well. It is halftime, 9 goals to South Bunbury, 56. Lead the Donnybrook Football Club, 5 goals for 34. Umpires are back out on the field. The rain is pretty steady at the moment, so that will stop most of the effect for the wind for a little bit. But pretty intense second quarter, that, Macca.
Yeah, absolutely. Donnybrook fought themselves way back into the game in general play. Squandered a couple of opportunities, as we said before the last break, as South Bunbury make their way back onto the ground. The umpires are already out there at this point in time. It is only a 3.5 goal lead by South Bunbury, but the rain has come down. It'll probably make a difference to the skill level in this game. The breeze is still thereabouts, so Craney is looking at these trees. It's still huffing and puffing a fair bit.
Yeah, just make it a bit more slippery with the ball use on that. A quick around the grounds too, thanks to Geograph Civil and Bunbury. They lead Harvey Bulls 13 goals, 8.86 to 4 goals 2 at half-time in Jesse Gribble's record-breaking game. Macca, he breaks the all-time record for Bunbury players. So
good on him.
Jesse Gribble, an absolute star. Good luck to him. It looks like they're heading towards a very good lead. Half-time out at Brunswick Oval and HBL 9 goals 11.65. They lead Dunsborough 1 goal 2.8. Your Sharks in a little bit of trouble, Macca.
Yeah. Oh, poor old Dunsborough. Hopefully they can eke out a couple of more wins before the end of the year and continue their build, their second year in the competition with the league side. Craney, who are you liking for WA Carpet Supermarkets Player of the Day at this point at halftime?
Gee, there's a lot of players putting their hand up for it, isn't there, when you run down there?
From both sides. From
both sides, exactly right. I've just run through the goal scorers for South Bunbury. 4 to Blaine Johnson. He had those 4 in the first quarter. Only the one shot at goal in that second quarter. Mitch Bain has 1. Kate Waldrott, who's been very good, has 1. Kevin Chitty has 1. Richard Bourne had an absolute beauty, and he definitely put his name down for a nomination for Goal of the Day. And Jace Cormack kicked a ripper as well for Donnybrook. 2 to Potter, who's been outstanding for Donnybrook. I think 2 to Clever Clark Daring and a 1 to Ben Fraser. There is quite a few names that are popping up, aren't they?
Oh, yes. Look, a couple of a player who I think goes unheralded. I'm sure internally he doesn't, but you know, he goes unheralded a bit for South Bunbury, but I think he's been outstanding today. He's Jay Crossman. Worked across half back. He's got a contender for Mark of the Day, and he's been a real rebounder today. And he's been terrific. Rather than being the 2IC, I think he might have taken charge today across half back.
He's definitely not underrated in this league. He's one of the best backmen or players in the league. He is well known for that. But of course, been to Nutriaga a couple of times. He is an outstanding player, reads the ball well, and any forward that's going to play on him knows he's going to have his work cut out for him.
I really like the game today of Sean Crane. He's been everywhere. He's gathered the ball at will. He's also not afraid to get in and under and grab that contested footy. He's been working very, very hard all day for South Bunbury. And then I don't know what's happened to Perkisic. We didn't really see him that quarter. I reckon he might be off the ground, Craney.
Yeah, he started off very well, but I can't see the green boots out there. So
he hadn't been out. He wasn't out there for much of the second quarter.
It's pretty cloudy and dull out there, so the lights are taking a big effect. Just run through the umpires for today's game. We didn't get that at the start of the game, but in the field was Kevin Hutchins, Kai Skoda and Cam Valenti.
Yep.
In the boundary, Cohen Matthews, Jamie Harrison and Dinella Schumann. And in the goals, Dylan Atkins and Katrina Edmonds.
Right.
So
for Donnybrook, Craney, I really liked the game of the defender, Hussey. He put 2 really good quarters together down back. And
I don't know a lot about Kyle Hussey, but you're right. He has been very good.
Uses the ball very well. I've also liked Bolton, Harris and Brown at times through the middle of the ground. Clark Derring's had some nice moments.
Sean Lynch started off very well too, didn't he?
Yeah. And I liked the little run that Bo Lucy had in the middle of the ground. He really changed the game for Donnybrook when he went into the ruck. And he's starting in the ruck now.
Starting in the ruck again, because young Pedley's been pretty good this afternoon for South. Well, third quarter underway. Let's see what will happen. This is SEN Spirit, and Darren McDonald will take it away.
And no one wins the ball up for KFC as Bolton drops it. There's immediately that rain having an impact, and there'll be a ball up in the middle again. Oh, yeah, here we go. Up they go for KFC. It's one down by Pedley this time. Bain goes off the ground. Ball's held up in the pack. Chitty goes to ground. Taken to ground, actually, by Harris. Oh, not Harris, sorry. By Hare. He's another one that I've liked for Donnybrook today. Up they go. One down by Lucy this time. Kendall can't take it. Oh, she stacks on the mill. Waldrett tackled as he kicked it, and that's holding the ball. So incorrect disposal, the umpire said. A little bit unlucky, but to the letter of the law, it's a free kick. And that man, Bo Lucy, Craney.
Yes.
I've got an eye for him.
You've got an eye for him, Macca. That's exactly right.
Lucy just behind centre. Goes long to centre half forward for the Dons. Derring comes out hard, can't mark. Picked up by Ethan Nordell. Gathered very well. Gives a handball out to Piggott. But now it's out of Hare and Piggott. Hare picks it up. Tackled by Piggott. And he gets a handball away. Derring comes out. He's smashed by Nordell. And the umpire said, push in the back. So the youngster starting off pretty well.
Yeah, look, one thing you know about Donnybrook football, they'll keep on going.
Yeah, they're a proud footy club.
They are. Going to have some magnificent new facilities out there too
so
in the near future.
Derring hits the hot spot. They fly. No one can mark. Coming out beautifully, doing well was Galloway. Handball into Pedley. Pedley is pushed to ground. Umpire says play on. And it's at centre half forward for the Dons. So they've got the ball in attack, Alan, which is where it needs to be for them.
Yeah, and they've come out full of zest, haven't they, after that good goal by Cooper Clark-Derring to go into half-time.
Lucy and Pedley, one down by Pedley. Hacked out by Jetta. A ball, very high kick. It hasn't brought the rain because it's already here. Versace can't mark. It's in the forward pocket. Picked up and scubbed forward. Gorda sees it over the line for a behind.
Yeah, don't want to bring too much more rain.
So Gorda's now going to bring the ball back into play. He'll step out of the square, Craney, so it becomes a stat, as all fullbacks like to do. And it's a big mongrel floater, but it's got to the centre circle, goes over the back of the pack. Kai Lucy can't get a handle on it. Now he puts his head over the footy, picked up by Sean Crane. Quick as you like, beautiful handball. Gets it out to Bain, gathers off the bounce. He's tackled now, throws it on the right boot, and he's dumped when he kicks it's down the ground.
Down the ground, Richie Bourne
will
have a kick.
Not who you'd want to be kicking for goal, Craney, if you're the opposition.
No,
he's looked up, he's got Johnson, and now he's gone into the corridor, and on the chest is young Bodie Nordell.
That was clever forward work by South Bunbury. Johnson had put by himself here, so the Donnybrook defender was sort of second guessing, and Nordell stuck out the other way. They split the defence there nicely, did South Bunbury.
Look, Craney, Richie Bourne's got that kick in him to kick the goal and would have been within his rights to have a shot, but I love the way he's brought Bodie Nordell into the game now. And Bodie shoots on goal. Goal umpire does a fair bit of work, but he's got it. Bodie Nordell gets his first for the day. And
all that hard work that Donnybrook do, that's the first little foray into the 50. But the Donnybrook defence couldn't do anything there. They split the defence very nicely, and that was a good bit of forward work, not just from Nordell. He kicked the goal, but the way Johnson and him went the opposite ways.
But that's how costly. You're bringing a breakdown late when he's got rid of it, and then it's suddenly the bloke's got a shot on goal inside 50 and then able to get it on quickly.
Yeah, we know the rules nowadays.
Yeah, it costs you. So that's the start that South Bunbury wanted.
So on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, South move ahead 1 goal.
Yes, when we can.
I'm just waiting for her to put it up.
I think it might be 9 goals 2 to 5 goals 5. The ball goes up for KFC in the middle of the ground, and it's cleared, but only as far as Bain. Shoots it out to Piggott. Piggott then miscued his kick, and the ball clears the pack. It's picked up there by Hare, who's brought to ground. Umpire says play on, and he's not having a go. That was lucky.
We're not far away from the South Bunbury members.
Yeah,
they definitely called that up.
It was actually Bolton. Up they go. 1 down by Pedley, taken by Hare. He shovels it out only as far as Sawyer. Chitty can't get a handle on it. Going to ground there is the Donnybrook player.
One thing about Hands Oval, it stays pretty good, doesn't it, after the rain?
Yeah, it does. It's a good draining ground. That was Harris that went to ground. Up they go. 1 down by Pedley. Picked up by Waldrett. He just mongrels it forward. Coming out to meet it is Bodie Nordell. Pushed in the back by Giblett. Giblett picks it up and tumbles it forward for the Dons. It gets the centre half forward in a wickety old way. Picked up by that man Crossman. Comes across to the corridor, finds Piggott.
Talk about
Piggott,
people putting up for Western.
Piggott slips out of his hand. Was going to go to Sawyer, then the fumble made him go to Bain. Bain now gives it to Sawyer. His run is rewarded. He's right up against the boundary line. The members wing goes to Johnson. Johnson holds his feet well, picks it up, goes to the corridor, to no one in particular at all. Asked teammates to run to it. It looks like it was Crane. He sees the ball over the line.
He probably could have had a ping at that.
So it's South Bunbury 10-2-62 to Donnybrook 5-5-35. Craney in this third quarter. And the ball deep in the left forward pocket for Donnybrook is going to be thrown back into play for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. In it comes. Not the best ball in. Taken out of the air by Horsman. Puts it on the ground. Bourne's got to beat 3 and then Hare for Donnybrook. Clears the footy. It'll land just outside the 50 up against the boundary line. No mark can be taken. All the players converge. Ball spills out. Kendall grabs it. Handballs away. Picks it up and then gets the kick away. Good work by Jacob Kendall. Gets it up to Jetta. Jetta handles it the best in the conditions and then lets go of it at the last minute and it goes across the ground. There'll be a ball up just between half-back and wing for Donnybrook. Oh, Craney. I need Halfhouse to get him.
See if we can contact someone and get a little bit of a...
Fingers about to snap off. Righto, Pedley can't get a handle on it. Lucy tried to gather it. Picked up by Waldrett. Tackled immediately. Don't know he had a footy and the umpire agreed with me. So my man Cade Waldrett just at high half forward with the footy. Goes on his left. Looks for something he likes, but coming out to meet the footy is Brown. Hussey.
We're looking for best on ground for a WA Carpet Supermarket. Jay Crosman's putting his hand up very...
That's what I said, didn't I,
Yes.
Alan? He's been a very good player today. Like I said, he can go unheralded at times, but today, to me, he's really stood out. Ball comes back into play just inside 50 for South Bunbury. Taken by Bain. He's so good in the stoppages, Bain. Craney gets so many hack kicks forward out of the stoppage or a handball out of the pack. He's another one who can go unnoticed. But when you got the glasses, you see him there all the time.
He uses the footy very well too.
He does. Ball comes down. It's inside 50 for South Bunbury. There's going to be a ball up. Third time in this area. It's about 45 metres out from South Bunbury's goal. Almost dead in front. Up they go. 1 down by Lucy. Picked up by Pedley. Hacked it forward. Comes to Waldrett. Handball over to Piggott. He gets away the ball away in the nick of time. And then Fraser from Donnybrook
To guess
intercepted
who?
that and hacked it into the middle of the ground to Jay Crosman. Jay Crosman's going to bring it back inside 50. Crane meets the footy, tats it to himself beautifully, one way then the other. He's trapped up against the boundary, goes to Gallagher. Gallagher spears one in the pocket, looking for Bourne. Oh, umpire has found a free kick and it's going to Richie Bourne. What was that for, Craney?
I reckon both the jumpers were pretty well stretched.
Yeah, play on for mine.
But having said that, Richie Bourne will be the one lining up for
Right,
goal.
yeah, he's on the tightest of angles. No daylight, probably about 35 metres out. Right side for a left footer. Goes around on his left. Richie Bourne across the face of goal for a behind.
He had the right swing to that too, Richie Bourne. He just let it go a bit at the wrong time, but pretty good effort. Yeah, I don't think there was much in it.
He knew what he was doing.
He did.
Yeah, so the footy gods there smiling on the Dons. The ball's brought back
so
into play
much
by
now.
Bedford. Picked up by Hussey. Hussey handballs it in just in time. Donnybrook bring the ball in the corridor.
that worked
and a good
about
mark
well.
to Hare. Hare goes back out to the wing. And he found Hussey.
I thought
Hussey's
they'd
been
messed
good,
it up,
Craney.
but they ended up pretty well for the Dons.
So Hussey at half back for the Dons goes long down the wing. They fly. Oh, nearly a really good mark over the shoulder to Gorda. Could have almost been called a mark. So Gorda on the far wing.
Geez, you wouldn't want to be sitting on the Harvey Norman interchange bench today. You'd want to be out there keeping warm.
He goes inside and he finds Jones. Jones comes right across the ground, and that's a good mark to Crossman. Crossman to Piggott on the wing. He's getting plenty of space today. Blake Piggott. He's had a ton of footy, Craney.
He's very important to the Tigers for that wing spot.
Runs to space. Piggott now nowhere to go, so short pass finds Crossman, who's run the overlap. They provide a lot of support for each other, don't they? You know, Crossman could have gone back into the back line, but now he's come up to receive. Now he goes long to half forward. It's over the back of Coates. Coming back on it is Lynch for the Dons. Can't pick it up. Ethan Nordell gets into a bit of space, goes into the corridor, and it's Sean Crane underneath it. Dead in front.
You talked about the run. That's because Tigers have got so much confidence in each of their others that they're not second guessing whether they need to push back. They think they're going to win the footy. That's what gives them that overlap.
So Sean Crane, he's going to kick from about 35, dead in front. Alan, you know him better than most. Has he got this in him?
Well, he should have.
Fires with the right foot. Umpire does not move. He's a true professional. Craney, the veteran now, kicks his first goal of the day, and Donnybrook skip away to a fairly sizable lead. 11 goals, 2, 68 to 5 goals, 5, 35.
And that's what we spoke about all the time. The Tigers will keep coming at you, and they'll keep coming at you. To stay with them, you need to just be at them all the time. Easier said than done, because, as I said before, they got that much confidence in each other that they know where they're going to go, and they sort of run forward because they know that contest is going to be won. And once they create that overlap and a bit of run, they're very hard to stop for any defensive unit. And that was a great kick into Crane. He was sitting on the other side, but still needed to be spotted.
And you had to run. You had to run to space. Alan, that was that's their 8th goal kicker for the day, and we've only just, part way through this third quarter.
One of the problems the Tigers had last year, they struggled to kick 9 or 10 goals. This year they've rectified that and rectified it big time.
Up they go, and for KFC, and Horsman clears the ball out of the middle of the ground. Waldron attacked it magnificently, got it to Nordell Ethan. He gets it out to Crossman, who goes whack to the hot spot. Johnson's in good position, can't quite mark it. Lane gets a handball out to Crane. Lane again picks it up on the boundary line, and it goes over the line.
You're doing a bit of poetry there, are you,
poet, and I didn't know it. I nearly said claim. So there's going to be a ball in, 25 metres. A ball, 25 metres around from South Bunbury's goal on the members' side. Ruckman go at it, Giblet, unopposed in the end, got it to Hare, who's hacked it at the top of the 50. Good mark by Harris. Stood underneath it in front of Piggott. Gives it on to the running Lynch. He stabs it up the wing. Daring, good mark in these conditions.
That's
There's a
what
lot
I
to
meant
like about
those,
this bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. The arms.
He's probably on half back, and then goes up and found a teammate in Bo Lucy. Presses me, this bloke. He's on the wing now, Bo Lucy, on this member's side. He's looking for options. No one to go to, so just hit centre half forward. They fly. Good mark to Tom Gorder.
He does that numerous times, doesn't he, Tommy Gorder?
Comes into the middle of the ground to Waldrett. Gets a handball onto the running Sawyer. Turns to Chitty. Chitty then over to Cormac. Cormac back to Chitty. They've gone one too many. Tackled, socked by Kai Lucy. Goes through. That was a bit of luck there as they've hacked it out of defence through Archer Coates, but it's marked by Gallagher. And he will kick from 50 metres on a 45-degree angle right side for a left footer.
Yes, it'll be right on his limit, I reckon, young Gallagher. But well, Cormac getting to know Kendall.
All right. So
good mates.
Right on his limit, you reckon, Craney?
I think so.
But he's got the breeze behind him. Slippery conditions. He fancies himself anyway. He gets to the paint, inside the paint, right up to the man on the mark, and too close because he's pushed it to the near side.
Yeah, just had to try and grab that extra metre or two. Just looking behind us, the Nutrien Ags Brain Trust, Macca.
Okay.
And Seth White, Blair Malatesta, and Matt Jamison.
Still got a couple of spots to fill, have they?
Look, they've been telling me they haven't had any beers for a month because they've been getting ready to go to Nutrien Ag.
Well, if you're going to Nutrien Ag, you got to get your resistance up, Craney.
Well, that's no doubt about that.
I've been to a few of those carnivals in my time as Bedford brings it out of defence, looking for Daring, waits over the back. Ball's still in dispute here at half forward for South Bunbury. Versace's fighting for it. Diving over the top of him was Gregory. There'll be a ball up just inside the boundary line here at half forward for the Tigers, members' side. Up they go. One down by Gregory, spits it out the back to Fraser, who takes off like a jackrabbit. Puts it up to, was putting it up there to Potter, who slipped over the last minute, but somehow coming out of defence is Galloway. Puts it on the chest to Piggott. He runs through the middle of the ground. Has a bounce in these conditions. That's a bit cheeky. Handball to Crane, who turns. Goes inside 50. Johnson's got a paddock to run into. Picks it up. Gets around on his right. Handballs it away. Kai Lucy picks it up. Tackled. Dispossessed. Umpire says play on. Picked up by Lane. Puts it in front of Johnson. Here's Lane again. Just out in front of the teeth of goal. They're fighting desperately, young Bedford. And there'll be a ball up.
You'd be nervous if you're Donnybrook defence, wouldn't you, when you've seen that ball coming off half-back?
Absolutely. Ball's one down by Chitty. It's fallen to Kendall, and he's just gone bang out to the far side with a drop punt. It hits some pitches, still in play. Ball is being tracked by Bolton, and it's gone out of play eventually, and there'll be a throw-in just outside forward 50 for South Bunbury on the far side. Geez, I'm glad they got lights here, Alan. Ball thrown in for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. It's taken there beautifully by Hare.
Oh, clever.
Tapped over
on
the back by the Donnybrook player. Oh, he's gone the fake and he's been tackled at the last minute. Fraser running onto it just forward to centre for the Dons. Picked up beautifully by Crosman. But they still fight on, and somehow Donnybrook are just inching this ball forward. It's at centre forward now. It's picked up by Hutton. Dribbles it inside 50. Daring just lurking. Versace with him. Dives on the footy. The ball is still alive. Picked up by Potter. Waves the magic wand. Outside of the right boot. It's the big contender for point of the day.
Waves the magic wand on. Take this opportunity for Geograph Sybil to go round the grounds. Bunbury 14-9-93 lead the Harvey Bulls 4 goals 3-27, and HBL 11-14-80 lead the Dunsborough Sharks 1 goal 2-8.
Galloway about to bring the ball back into play. And the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, it's 11-2-68 to Donnybrook, a 5-35 as South Bunbury have it up on the half-back flank. Bring it down the wing. Horsman can't grab it cleanly and it goes out of play. There'll be a throw-in on that far wing.
Bit of moisture starting getting in the commentary box here,
Starting to get a little bit damp, but I'm enjoying this.
It's a good contest, no doubt about that. Both the sides are having a fair dinkum crack.
Ball comes back into play. Gregory wins this one. Kendall tries to rip his way through. One out by Ethan Nordell. He now has the football again, goes on his left foot. Good little bit of work up to half forward, but it's gathered there by Hussey, who's been terrific for the Dons today. Eludes one, then goes back where the ball came from down that far wing. Horsman brought the ball to ground. It's picked up by Kendall, gets a good handball away to Lynch. Lynch goes underground with the kick and asks Daring to pick it up. He can't. Crosman does. Gets a handball out there to a teammate in right. It was Jones actually. Got it to Bourne. And now Callaway brought it into centre half forward, but he was picked off there by Beggs. Beggs wanted to give it to a running teammate in Bedford who was under a lot of pressure. Chitty now recovers the ball for South Bunbury. Picked up beautifully by Nordell, and he comes back and gives it to Waldrop. Waldrop gives it back to the running Ethan Nordell. On his right foot, puts it up to the hot spot. Johnson crashes the pack. Picks it up on his right boot around Hussey. Coming back with a flight of the ball. Gorder, he'd love the look of this. And was he held without it? Umpire says bring it in.
He did pretty well to control that though, Gorder, didn't he? You've seen the goals looming up and had a bit of a smile on his face. He gets a lot of the footy though, doesn't he?
He does, and with that hard running. So there's going to be a ball.
And he gave me the weather report before we started the game today. So
ball in his right forward pocket for South Bunbury for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. Comes back into play. It's one down by Gregory. Picked up by Hare. Gets a handball forward for Donnybrook. Kendall comes to meet it. Crane White with him. Got hold of him. Tries to fend him off. Brings him over the line. What's the umpire say? Bring it in.
Thanks to MDI.
Craney having a little smile about that too.
He'd be probably having a bit to say too.
Wonder where he gets that from. Righto. Ball comes back into play. Just outside forward 50 on the members' side for South Bunbury as Hutton walked it over the line, and they're probably 5 metres closer to South Bunbury's goal. Still outside 50, and it's going to be brought back into play for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes again. Okay, Gregory and Horsman. It's one down by Gregory. Oh, geez. Picked up by Lynch, but he's quickly dispossessed. Gallagher got it to a teammate under a heap of pressure in corner.
Kevin Chitty didn't realise he had that, I think.
He said, I don't want the bloody thing. And then he kicked it out of play, and it's brought back in by Donnybrook's Bedford to Jackson to Giblet now in the far back pocket. He plays on, brings it outside 50, and that's a good measured pass. Got it out to Hussey. He gives it back to Hare. Hare comes back in board, finds a teammate there in Bolton. Starting to learn the names now, Craney. Bolton goes up the wing, goes over the top of the pack. It's on that far side. Here he is, Potter picks it up, comes back to Giblet by hand. Giblet's handball comes back to him. It's getting wet and slippery out there. Picked up by Fraser, and he just hacks it forward. It's in the half-forward flank. No one can mark. Kendall's there, picks the ball up, looks for someone to give it to. Comes into the corridor. Clark Daring can't mark it, but he picks it up. Gets it over the back to a teammate. Ducks, bobs, weaves, the handballs it straight to his opponent. Now comes back to him outside of the right boot. Brown got Donnybrook's first goal of the quarter, and that was pretty special.
Well, it was, because they handballed away straight to South, and then South handed straight back into him. So good goal by Brown there. They worked very hard to get it down that outer wing, and we keep saying that. Their work ethic, nothing wrong with the work ethic of the Donnybrook Footy Club. It's just that stop and rebound from South. But, yeah, it was well played, and they keep on keeping on. Yep.
So on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, South Bunbury 11-2, 68. Donnybrook 6-6.
Tell you what, there's some umbrellas going up on the Harvey Norman interchange bench too, Macca's getting the coaches out there. Who'd be a coach?
Have they stoked the heaters there from Hearth House to get them warming up? I tell you what,
there'll be a lot of people sitting watching the SEN coverage with their nice warm Hearth House heaters.
So Crane out of the middle of the ground. He's running hot for Hearth House, or warming up. He's well and truly warm. Gorder has it on the wing, hacks it forward. Comes to Kai Lucy. He can't grab hold of it. Tyson Lane picks it up, gets a handball off there to Chitty. Chitty goes to the hot spot. Johnson gets in position. Good spoil by Hussey. Here's Ethan Nordell. Goes around on his right boot. Sausage rolls. Ethan Nordell gets his first for the day, and that's another goal scorer, the 9th one for South Bunbury.
That's the key, isn't it? And we spoke about the Nordell boys. They are seriously good players, and they just do that. They can do anything in footy. They're good size, they take a good mark, and they know where the goals are. And Ethan Nordell, fantastic. And as you said, Macca, goal scorers, they're just about... You'd be disappointed if you come off for South Bunbury and you hadn't scored one.
Craney,
I think that's why Tommy Gorder was down here going, hang on, I need to get on that list.
I just had to check my glasses, Craney, to check I didn't have my sunglasses on. It's getting that dark here.
Yes.
God almighty. So South Bunbury, 12-2-74 to Donnybrook, 6-6-42 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. And we're going back to the middle of the ground for KFC.
Do you want to do a conditions report for Garage Stores Southwest accredited B&D deal it is? A bit nippy.
It is freezing cold. There's a breeze, and the rain hasn't stopped since half-time. It's just a steady drizzle, Craney. So I know I'm cold here, but I'm still glad I'm here and not out there. As much as I'd love to be out there.
Looks like a bit of fun, doesn't it?
One down by Horsman. Going to ground is Kendall. He hasn't stopped fighting the whole game. Stacks on the mill in there. Kendall comes out with the footy. Lynch misses it. Taken there by Bolton. He misses a handball. And the umpire's found a free kick.
That would have been close to a tackle of the day.
And it's going to Cormac because he's saying that Hare didn't dispose of it correctly.
Yeah, Bunbury Mower Services tackle of the game. That would have to put a tick next to that one.
Jace Cormac brings the ball out to the members half forward. Lane on the chest. Easy as you like. Lucy struggling to keep up with him there. He might have thought Coates was going to intercept it. And he goes long, Tyson Lane, straight into the hot spot. And underneath the Nordell. But it's Ethan again.
It's hands in the back.
Oh, dear. Gibber. Clayton Giblet goes across to the back pocket. He finds a teammate there, and he brings it out to Jackson. So that was Brown. He's got it to Jackson, still inside D50. Took a good mark in these conditions. Ball now clears the pack. It's picked up by Hutton. He takes it out just in front of the wing. Kendall takes it, put to ground, or is it Hussey? Might be Hussey. Anyway, South Bunbury is still tackling like, there's only 2 points in it. It was Hussey. It's a big kick in there by Bain to no one in particular. And it's taken there by Jackson. Goes in the corridor, risky. Good mark by Coates. Okay, Coates brings it out to Kai Lucy, still inside D50, just on this member's side. Chips it up and finds Bedford, having a good little game. Bedford goes down the wing, looking for Bo Lucy. Out comes Potter. Can't pick it up. That was a good poke out by Crossman, who might have hurt himself in the process.
He did, yeah.
And Piggott brings it, and it's on Lane's chest, and coming off the ground is Crossman limping. Oh, Johnson bounces off his chest. Here's Richie Bourne, dangerous in this situation. Gets it to Ethan Nordell, outside of the right boot. He's pushed it across the face. Oh, jeez.
He has a clever tap by Crossman to set that up, but he comes straight off to the Harvey Norton interchange bench.
Pinged a calf or rolled an ankle,
It's
possibly.
a calf by the look of it.
Yeah, it's no good.
The trainers will have a look at
He
that.
was heading for WA Carpet Supermarket Player of the Day, Craney.
Yeah, he still had a lot of the footy.
Yes. I'd like this rising star, young Bedford.
Young Bedford, Hemp Brothers,
Yeah,
Western
Hemp
Australia's
Brothers.
most trusted Western Australia-based hemp-based products.
Yeah.
He's been good, hasn't he?
He has.
Young Bedford.
He's got better as the game goes on. His confidence is gained, and he looks like he believes that he should be there. Anyway, he's about to bring the ball back into play. It's into the far back pocket, and it's with young Brown. Taking the mark. So Brown just elects to go long, and he gets it up to half-back. Daring Flies takes a really good one grabber at half-back. He turns. What's he got? And he goes for the chip up the wing. It's a pretty
Clever
good
little
kick
chip
in,
too.
and he's found a teammate.
What's happening over that far side, Mac?
He's found a teammate in Lynch. So Lynch then goes long further down the wing. They get it up to the wing. Giblet gets in front, takes a good mark.
He's had a productive quarter,
He
Giblet.
has, yep. And then he goes long inside 50, just in front of the scoreboard. Coming out, Potter on the chest, juggled mark. Oh, the wizard.
Speaking of good games of footy, Potter has been there for all four quarters.
He has. Yes.
Aiming up for his third goal for the afternoon, if he can put this one through.
Yep.
But he doesn't mind mixing it, and he's been running through the midfield a bit, so very impressive.
Yeah, he's on about a 45-degree angle, right side for a left footer. So he starts his approach now, and he'll probably be kicking it from just inside 50. Gets to 48, lets fly with the drop punt. He's put it up on the breeze, and it's a behind, Craney. You give a bloke a rap.
And the Colt hero Jake Boyle has just come back onto the ground.
For his second rotation.
Had a couple of shots at goal as Jake Boyle.
Gorder brings the ball back into play. Goes to the far side. It's a floater, but it's gone a long, long way. Bounces over the pack. Chitty's going to run on and Clayton Giblet with him. Crane stood in their way. That wasn't wise. And then Donnybrook emerged with the football. Lucy has it now. Goes back across to Giblet. It takes a mark on his chest. He's had the most
purple patch.
Has the most possessions today he's ever had in his life, I reckon. Gets it out to Lynch.
Of course, you know him from the Perth Football Club. So
Lynch brings the ball back into play. Fraser can't mark, and then just on the siren, Bain grubbed the ball forward. And at half time here on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard at South Bunbury, 12-3-75 to Donnybrook, 6-7-43.
It is, but Macca, I have to correct you. It's three-quarter time.
Three-quarter time.
So,
it is three-quarter time.
It is three-quarter time here. Still a pretty entertaining game of footy. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the final quarter of the big clash between South Bunbury and Donnybrook. Back to Hands Oval, where South Bunbury hold a fairly good lead. 12 goals, 5-77. To the Donnybrook Football Club, 6 goals, 7-43. Donnybrook working very hard to get back into the contest. Every time they look like getting in, South just move it forward and kick goals. Look, they kick goals pretty easily when they get that bit of run on Macca.
Absolutely. They've extended their lead from half-time by 12 points. So they're a 34-point lead now going into this last quarter. But Donnybrook have fought hard all day. And, Craney, for the conditions, it's actually stopped raining now. But for the conditions, it's still been a fairly highly skilled game, but I've liked the intensity that both sides have brought too.
Oh, no doubt it's been entertaining. It's been good to watch, to sit there, and both these sides have thrown a fair bit at it. And I reckon even though it looks like South Bunbury will win the game, but Shane Bolton, he'd be pretty happy with his charges. He's got a lot of players on the sidelines at the moment, so a few to come back. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are turning out.
Yep.
We're not very far away from the final quarter, Macca.
Yeah,
the snow's coming over the top of the building.
Over the mountains.
But
we've got Horsman in the ruck, and he'll be going in against young Gregory, and it's going to be a ball up for KFC.
And we are underway for the final quarter of the day. Here's Darren McDonald.
One down by Gregory just. Waldrop picks it up. Crane goes in hard against Kendall. Kendall trying to break through, throws it away, and umpire saw that. In his desperation, Kendall, it's going to be a kick to Benny Horsman. Right in the middle of the ground. The spare parts man goes out to the wing, puts it out in front of a teammate there in Bain. Goes one way, then the other. Plenty of time, gets a handball off to Versace and then gets it back from Versace, goes to centre half forward. Kendall there tries to chop it off. It's picked up by Nordal. That's Ethan. Gives it to Bain, who's run on. Stab pass onto the chest of Waldrop.
Thanks to City and Regional Fuels for your support for this afternoon, as Waldrop will line up for South Bunbury's 13th goal for the afternoon. And he's already got a couple himself.
He's dead in front, Craney, and he's going to kick it from about 50, the big left footer.
In fact, he's got one for the afternoon. I thought he had another one. So
in he comes. Gets on his left. He's given it too much hook, and it's not going to go. Oh, big fly in the back pocket. Picked up by Bourne off the toe. There's a contender, Craney. There's a contender for Western All Pest Services goal of the day.
That is just pure awareness of the situation. Most people thought that was going to go out, but Richie Bourne didn't. He was quick as lightning to pick that up, put it on his boot and dribble it through. And that was just pure class.
It's pure Bourne. It is pure Bourne. That is what he's renowned for, Craney.
And big shout out to Dean Lomax, who's sitting overseas somewhere, isn't he, Russell? Overseas somewhere, Bangkok, and he picked Donnybrook to win this, so he'd be a bit bit sad on that, Dean Lomax. So big shout out to you, mate. Looks like you're going to lose this one. But
and on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, South Bunbury at 13-5-83 to Donnybrook at 6-7-43. It's now a lead of 40 points as the ball goes up for KFC. It's one down by Horsman, and it's all tied up in the middle.
The tackling for Bunbury Mower Service too has been fantastic.
Yes.
And South Bunbury, as you said, got a big lead, but they're still ferocious.
Yeah, one down by Horsman, trickled out to Piggott, and then it's taken by Harris, and he's brought to ground.
If you're going to get a kick against them, you're going to earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're playing right to the end, because if you start slacking off, bad habits creep into your game. As they still fight for the ball in the centre square, it's a little towboat by Waldrop, but the umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to go Donnybrook's way.
Tell you what, there's going to be a few percentage boosters around the grounds.
So this is Hare.
This week.
He's standing in the centre circle, kicks over the top of Waldrop, goes inside 50, no one can mark, cleared Potter, comes back Giblet, who's gone forward, switcheroo, gives it to Potter, Potter can't gather it, Giblet's still there, gathered there by Galloway, who gave it to Crane, and he's kicked around his corner, and it's a beautiful kick to Jones. Jones, just a chip up the wing, and he's found Horsman, still inside D50, another chip, and it's gone out. It's just missed Waldrop, Horsman has, and it's at a half forward for Donnybrook, and they will get the kick in, and they do. And then this kick has gone to, trying to work out, it's Hare, is it? Yes, it is. And he goes inside. Ball misses the pack. Umpire's found a free kick, and it's going Donnybrook's way. It's going to Gregory, the young ruckman. It's been shifted forward.
This will test him from out there, though,
he's on the boundary line, and he'll kick it from about 45, right side for a right footer. Puts it up to the teeth of goal. They all set themselves a big fist in there from Crosman into the post. And umpire, it's into the point post, so it's going to be a throw in.
He had a fair crack at that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Crosman, there isn't much that he can't do today. Umpire brings it back into play. Ball's one down by Versace. Crane trying to step out of the tackle. Donnybrook have the ball. Kendall, handball, flung to ground. Umpire says bring it in. So right up against the point post in the forward pocket for Donnybrook on this member's side. Boundary umpire's going to bring it back into play again. Two ruckman, Dering and Versace. Can't be taken. Oh, tackled is Ethan Nordell holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. So ball's going to come back to Fraser, and he'll pop through a much-needed goal for Donnybrook. Waste no time, straight through the eye diddle. Suddenly it's 13-5-83 to 7-7-49 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, and that gives Donnybrook some hope with this breeze, Craney.
Yeah, look, Fraser's been pretty good all afternoon. I like the way he goes about it. In fact, he's a real
goal
contender for Hemp Brothers rising star for this afternoon.
Yep.
Got a bit of pace, uses the ball well, and knows where to go to get the footy. So it's all upside for young Fraser.
Yeah, and that's his second goal for the day too. So it's back to a 40-point ball game. If they're good enough, they'll be able to get it.
A quick around the grounds thanks to Geograph Civil. Bunbury enjoying Jesse Gribble's milestone game, 17-12-1-1-4, lead the Harvey Bulls 4-4-28.
Oh, dearie me.
And HBL 12 goals 16. They lead your Dunsborough Sharks, Macca, 2 goals to 14. So,
geez, Craney, we got the close one.
We got the close one, all right. There's a bit of percentage going on around there.
Geez. But the thing is, at this point in time, South Bunbury remain undefeated. One down by Gregory. Crane slaps it out of the pack. He's gone down the Donnybrook player. Hutton, he's going to get the free kick. He's been okay today, Hutton, without starring again. What can he do for his side here? He's in the centre. Looks for options, puts a chip up. Giblet. Geez, he's enjoying a bit of freedom, Clayton Giblet.
He's loving it, isn't he?
Inside centre square, goes on the right foot to the hot spot. Ball comes to ground. They all set off after it. It's taken by Sawyer. Can't get the kick away. Picked up by Brown. Gets it to Kendall. Kendall throws it up. Gorda slaps it away. It's taken by Waldrett. He gives it off by hand. No one can get a handle on it. Kendall has it again. Handballs it out to Gregory. Gets on his right boot. Tummels it forward. Ball hits and pitches. There's Wright there trying to get it to Nordal, to Crossman. It's picked up by Jeddah. Has a shot on goal. It's smothered. Piggott just off the right boot. Toe poke. Getting after it's Harris. Pushes it out there to Beggs. He picks it up. He's tackled. This is frenetic out here on the top of the 50 for Donnybrook. Got out by Ethan Nordal to Piggott. Crane has it now and goes long to half forward. Standing underneath it is Horsman. Gathers it. Punches it forward by hand. Lane put the afterburners on, but it's really good work by the Donnybrook player on the boundary line. The umpire says ball it up.
Gee, that was Gregory. That's a fierce little passage of play, wasn't it?
Good contest.
All players just couldn't quite get a handle on it, and there was a bit going on in that,
bit
but
of
well played.
Peak performance for City and Regional Fuels there,
You need a bit of fuel to keep that pace up, Macca.
Ball in for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes. Gregory slapped it away, but he held his man. Horsman takes a free kick, gives it to the running Piggott. Piggott off to Waldrett. Waldrett on his left side, puts it out in front of Lane. He takes a mark on his chest. He makes space well, this bloke. Then he puts it over the top to Crane, who's run on, takes the mark, looks immediately inside. Can't find a teammate. They come out, that was Beggs, and he puts it up for Giblet.
Crane should have probably had a crack at that.
Giblet's really enjoying being a focal point.
Yeah, which is good to see.
Yeah, Chitty brings the ball to ground. With him, Hussey, been good today. Picked up by Chitty, gives it to Piggott. He's been so good today. Piggott just goes underground with the kick, gets it to Ethan Nordal, fires it across to Chitty. Chitty at half-back, goes up to the wing looking for Jones. Jones can't gather the footy. Giblet does now.
He's racking them up on you now, Mac.
Big thumping kick from Giblet to Jeddah. Inside 50, drops what he should have taken. He's got a bit of time, Brandon Jeddah, on the right foot. That's class. Donnybrook, I got another goal. It's 13-5-83 to 8-7-55. The Dons are still coming home with a wet sail, Craney.
They are, and they let Giblet out of Clayton Giblet out of the box, giving you a bit of freedom, and he really has turned it on. He's been everywhere. So it was a big part of that one. Jeddah over the back, he dropped one, probably should have taken, but had the class to finish it off. And that's a good sign for the Donnybrook Football Club.
But
they keep saying
they need to do that. They need to use this breeze, and they need to thump it long into space, not allowing...
Well, they need to split the South Bunbury defence, because if you let them work together, that's what happened to come in quick, caught them out a bit. If you give them time to push back, they push back and they run the other way 100 mile an hour. So that's the key, it's just being able to do it.
You know, credit to Donnybrook. They haven't got their regular side in. I think they've got a few boys from Peel today, like you said, so that the gel factor wouldn't be there, but they're really fighting it out. Up they go. It's going to be Pedley and Gregory. It's won by Gregory, only as far as Chitty. Gathers in a bit of space and then goes to the half-forward flank on the outer side. They set off after it. Bolton and Crane. Crane wins out, locks it in. Umpire says pushed in the back, so the little master gets a free kick. He's too far out to score. He's about 60 metres out. Gives the handball across to a teammate in Ethan Nordal. Goes into the pocket. Tried to get it to Cormac. Cormac can't make. He's had a quietish day, Craney. Cormac.
Yeah, what he does is good. He does a lot of hard work in around the pack, this Cormac. You know, kicked the goal for the afternoon. It's just in this South Bunbury side that
they're even.
They're even, so...
Rightio. Ball comes back into play. One down by Pedley. That man Giblet, he's everywhere. He's unstoppable. Gets a handball away. Still in front of the scoreboard. There they are, over in that far forward pocket for the Dons, for the Tigers. Ball to come back into play for... Oh, it's thrown up for KFC, in fact. Pedley brings it to ground. Emerging is Born. Is there time for another classic? It's gone across the face and it's only a behind.
Was that the third instalment of Bourne, was it? What's he got this afternoon already?
He's got a couple, I think.
He's got a couple.
He's got a couple. He's been pretty good. Rightio. Ball to come back into play by Donnybrook.
I'll spend all the post-game reading out the goal scorers for South Bunbury the way we're going, Mac.
Kendall takes the ball in the back pocket, then goes long by foot up the wing, and that's a really Good mark to Lynch. He takes the ball now and plays on. Just chips it up and finds Brown. Brown gives a handball on to Hare, who goes back to Brown. He fumbles it. And now it's come back to Hare. He goes by hand to half forward. Big Giblet. He goes by hand to Lynch. He fumbles. Emerging on him was Gallagher. He gathered well, gave it to Pedley for South Bunbury. Now Galloway's caught underneath it and tackled by Giblet. Umpire said held without it. So Galloway comes immediately inboard and he finds Bourne. He was just having a shot on goal a minute ago. Bourne comes into the middle of the ground, finds Ethan Nordell, who's had a pretty good day. Plenty of the football, gives it to Sean Crane. Still inside the square and comes out to the half-back flank on the members' side and finds Sawyer. Sawyer comes further across to the boundary line and finds Wright. Wright's kick finds the chest to Piggott on the wing. So
as you say, he's been very good, Blake Piggott, today.
Just behind centre wing, looking for options. What's he going to do? Play on now, the umpire says, and he's gone out on the full. He had a player lurking down there. I think it was Crane who was coming off the interchange. Maybe, no, he wasn't. All right, so there's Hare.
I think he kicked it to the Harvey Norman interchange bench.
Hare's taking a mark on his chest just in front of the dugouts. He goes long down to half forward. They sit underneath it. Big fist coming in.
What'd you say? Hare's taking a mark on his chest. Nice smacker. Good one. Peak performance. Thanks to Skinny and Richard.
There's a bit of peak performance going on here.
And half house. I bet you snuggled up next to your fires this afternoon.
Righto, ball to come back into play for Dale Alcock, Southwest Homes, right in front of the commentary box, which is the South Bunbury social rooms here. Half forward for South Bunbury it is. Ball taken by Pedley. Giblet comes through, tries to bullock it forward. Here he comes, Kendall, and he's sharp bungled out of play by Norwell into the fence when that was dangerous. And they don't like it.
There's a bit going on right in front of us at the moment.
coming to sort him out. Gibber didn't like what Nordell did to his teammate then. Oh, Clayton Giblet. He'll fly the flag. The free kick to Kendall is okay, thank goodness. They'll break it up now. Kendall goes to the hot spot. Here comes Potter, but coming across the front, Crossman. No, ball still in play. Picked up by Galloway. Gives a handball back to Sawyer. They go across to Gorder in the back pocket, the far back pocket. They bring it up now to the half-back flank. Ball's taken by Bain on the chest. Bain gives it out to Crane at half-back. He's taken the mark. He comes back in and finds Gorder. So just closer to the corridor on his chest. Now he comes inside and finds Galloway. Galloway on the point of the square. Goes looking into the corridor. Sitting underneath it, Waldrick took a little chest mark. Goes out on the left foot. Johnson on the lead on the chest. Plays on immediately.
Will this be number
inside
5?
50 on the right boot. It's across the face for a behind.
He's been trying for that number 5 all afternoon after kicking 4 goals in the first quarter, Johnson.
Well, there's a beautiful kick to him. Beautiful kick. Donnybrook to bring the ball back into play. It's going to be brought back in by Bolton. Runs out of the square and he just goes whack straight down the middle of the ground to the centre circle. They fly. Good mark to Derring. Clark Derring. He plays on now on his right boot. Comes out to Potter on the lead. Takes a good mark. Plays on. Gets inside 50. Chips it out in front of a teammate who's run on in Lynch. The ball bounces. Lynch, gosh. Just got his foot on it in time and that's a goal. Wow, I thought he nearly muffed it and kicked it into the post, Craney.
It's amazing the amount of feeling still in this game, isn't it, Macca? Yeah. There's a bit going on. Good goal by Lynch. Well set up by Potter. He's been fantastic this afternoon for Donnybrook.
Absolutely.
And they just keep on working, the Donnybrook Football Club.
Potter, once again, he could have had a shot for goal. He's a good team player.
Yeah, I thought that kick was going to just sit and roll it on, but Lynch did pretty well. Only just got his toenail to it to get it over the line. That's all you need to do.
So on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard, it's 13-7-85 to 9-7. It'll be 9-7-61. So they're getting closer, Craney, but it may be a bridge too far.
Yeah, but the positives you take out of it are pretty good for Shane Bolton.
Yep.
The sides kept on pushing.
Particularly with an undermanned crew. Up they go. One down by Lucy, taken there by Hare, and he just thumps it forward. And a good intercept mark there to Jones. He comes out here to the members' side on the half-back flank, finds Piggott, keeps it in play. No, he doesn't. I think he was almost in here with you and me, craning his claim, and he kept it in.
All players will do that, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Not that he needs another kick. His feet will be absolutely stinging after the amount of kicks he's had today. So Pedley and Lucy. One down by Lucy. Pedley gets it off the deck. They still work hard for it, and there's going to be a ball up at the top of the 50 for Donnybrook. 45-degree angle. Right side for a right footer, they are. Up the ball goes for KFC. One down by Lucy. Could have got a free kick in that. Pedley once again pounces on the loose ball. Buried in, and now they're 51 metres out from Donnybrook's goal.
Every metre counts, Maggot. Moving closer.
Lucy and Pedley.
Thanks to MGIB, like a good neighbour.
One down by Pedley. Into Chidley, and he's this tackling, Craney.
For Bunbury Mower
There's
Service.
so many tackling of the games for Bunbury Mower Service. It hasn't dropped off at all. Normally a last quarter will open up, but this hasn't.
It's been fierce.
Yep, big punch by Pedley. Chopped off there. Oh, met solidly was Bolton, and I think he's worse for wear. No,
There'll be
he's getting up.
a lot of players a bit sore this afternoon.
That missed his scone by a millimetre. Oh, Bolton, but he got up pretty well. Lucy to go at it with Pedley again, and he's pulled off it to be a free kick to Lucy. So Lucy just on the point of the square. What options have he got? South Bunbury flooding back quickly. Ball goes in space. Umpire's found a holding free, and it's going the way of the Dons. Oh, Cooper Clark Daring going for goal number 3. He'll want to hurry this up. Come on, young Cooper.
Most of all, you want to get it through.
45-degree angle, Craney, and he'll kick from about 40 metres, I reckon. In he comes, right side for a left footer. Goes off his right boot, leaves it on the breeze. It's a beautiful-looking kick, and he gets it through. And they get closer, Craney. It's with you. It's a 3-goal buff, 3-goal difference on Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. 13-7, 85 to 10-7. 67. She's on for young and old.
I'm impressed with this Donnybrook side. They never give it in. It would have been easy when the South Bunbury players were running amok in that first quarter. They didn't. They kept on pushing, even into this last quarter, Macca. They still keep pushing in that.
And Souths haven't put the cue in the rack either.
Well, South started to push around a little bit and just move it from side to side instead of that direct avenue to goal that they've taken.
Rightio, we're back in the middle. Horsman's in the ruck, and he's going to be taking on Lucy. And he's a young man developing into his body cranium. He's got a competitive instinct, this Bo Lucy. I like the look of him. He'll be a contender for one of our rising stars as well for him, brothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Who are you liking for the WA Carpet Supermarket Player of the Day?
I think
it's almost a raffle.
It is at that. There are so many players that have put their hand up this afternoon, have a crack at it. I've loved the ruck duels this afternoon.
Crossman's been good, but so is Potter. One down by Lucy for KFC. The umpires, they found a holding free, and it's going to that man, Lucy. They go long. It's gone inside 50. They sit underneath it. Versace gets a fist over the top of Daring. They tackle and tie it up inside 50. They're waiting for another ball up. They're going to get it. Oh, they are pressing the Dons. They might have munched on some of those homegrown apples at three-quarter time, Craney. Get them over the line. Up they go. One down by Horsman. Picked up there by Chitty, and he just hacks it forward. They fly. No one can mark. Ball falls to Beggs. Beggs taps it out to Giblet. He tries to bulldoze his way through. Pretty hard to tackle. Comes out to Harris. Giblet's there again with Beggs. They tie it up in the middle of the ground, and there'll be a ball up for KFC.
Funny you should say about the apples. I seen Peter Worsfold last week bringing the oranges out to the players that go up to him.
Oh, nothing like a bit of tradition. Up they go. One down by Lucy. Gathered there by Brown. Good handball out to Harris. Harris mungles it forward. It bounces inside 50. Really good to Daring. Goes on the right foot. It's an up and under. It's gone to the hot spot. They fly out the back. Danger time. Off the right boot. Potter! Potter's got his fourth. He's got his fourth, the Wizard. Craney, 2-goal ball game. 13-7-85 to 11-7-73. She's on like Donkey Kong.
Don't you love our game? You absolutely. This is the best game in the world because of this. We thought Donnybrook were done dusted at three-quarter time. They have just pushed back and they have made all the play in this last quarter to bring in a real big contest to this.
It's exciting now, Alan.
It's been a great game all day.
We've been pretty cold here, but I'm warmed up now for Hearthouse.
Mate.
And Harry Potter's been warming up for Hearthouse too, waving his magic wand all day.
It's absolutely game on.
Rightio. Ball up for KFC. That's going down to the wire. One down by Lucy. They're really fighting on. Lucy kicks the ball out of the middle of the ground. They stand underneath it inside 50, Donnybrook's way. Sawyer brings it out of fence, finds Piggott's chest. He's just outside D50 for South Bunbury.
There's opening here.
Nearly been chopped off by Hussey. Picked up by Bain. Puts the afterburners on. Puts it up to the wing. A good steadying mark there by Horsman. Handballs off to Waldrett with his left foot. But young Bedford's underneath. Drops what he should have taken. Gets a handball away. Coming out there is Gallagher. He goes over his shoulder. Puts it inside 50 for South Bunbury. Here comes Bourne. Really well done by Donnybrook though. They bring the ball out of defence. Onto the Chester Harris inside the centre square. He goes long to the half-forward flank looking for Jetta. It's a big collision. Umpire's found a free kick, saying it was interference. He's paid advantage to Piggott. Oh, it's gone over the back, and that's a good mark there to Beggs. Beggs handballs it off to a teammate, and Harris has the ball in the centre of the ground. They want to get moving, Donnybrook. There can't be much time left in this, Alan.
No, they are pushing again, aren't they?
Here he goes. He goes to the top of 50.
Potter again. He's turned this game on its head.
He can do this on the breeze. He's almost dead in front. Slightly to the right hand side.
He'll be kicking from 55. This will test him.
He can do it with this breeze, Craney, and give us a 1-goal ball game, please.
It'll be number 5 for Potter.
In he strolls. He's backed himself. Runs around for extra distance. Goes to the teeth. A goal. It's cleared the pack. The Wizard.
Put that one down.
Yes, it's home. Oh, wow, Craney. What a game we've got here at hands on the Isuzu Southwest scoreboard. 13 goals, 785 to 12-7-79.
Put that one down as a contender. As Macca goes for
Potter's got his
first
fifth.
service.
Potter's got his fifth. Wave your magic wand, Wizard.
Here it is. That was a masterful kick, wasn't it? He's been fantastic. He's turned the game on its head, as Potter been very good all day. But that was a magnificent roost. He would have kicked that for at least 55. He was well out. The man outside on the mark was outside 50.
Dean Lomax has just messaged in from Bali. How's my tip looking now, Craney?
Yeah, he actually tipped South Bunbury, so I'm not sure now. Here we go.
Rightio, Lucy. With Horsman, one down by Lucy, taken there by Payne. Before he had the footy, umpire said he was held without. He's got a free kick, comes back now behind centre, goes to half forward on the far side. Good lead and mark, taken out there by Waldrett. South Bunbury need to steady the ship now. Waldrett, just playing a bit of possession footy. There can't be much time left. Goes to Galloway. Galloway chips it half forward, finds Crane. Crane's got it at high half forward, and he goes backward. I'd say there's not much time left, Ellen, the way they're playing it. Galloway.
They want to be very careful doing that, though.
He finds Chitty. Chitty goes long to the hot spot. They come out, and a good mark on the chest too. Johnson, who's going to take his time, and he's got a real chance to put the game beyond doubt here. Even a point might do it, Craney.
Well, a very, very handy point, wouldn't it? Just a one-goal ball game, and who would believe that, eh? It's been a magnificent
45-degree angle, Craney, and he's going to shoot from 50.
4 in the first quarter.
It was 7 goals at three-quarter time, wasn't it?
It was a huge last quarter.
Bang goes Johnson. He hasn't made the distance. They fly. There's a big fist. Away they go. Giblett has the football for Donnybrook. Gets a beat to it. There's been a shot on goal. And it's home. It's that man Waldrett again, Craney. I made sure I got his name right this time.
You got it right.
He's got the sealer again, Kate Waldrett.
Tell you what, we've been blessed today with this game of footy.
What?
That was a magnificent snap-on goal. Turned it around the corner under a fair bit of pressure. The kick from Lane Johnson didn't make the distance, but he was up to it, and there was a few people on the Harvey Norman interchange bench that just breathed a sigh of relief when that one went through.
I tell you what, Craney, no better time for Cade Waldrett to kick his second goal than right then. Oh, they've been valiant, Donnybrook. They really have. But these guys aren't top of the ladder undefeated for no reason, Alan.
Oh, I tell you what, there is a lot of positives to come out of here for the Donnybrook Football Club.
They're back in the middle.
It's been a big quarter of footy, Macca.
Up they go for KFC. One down by Lucy. They still haven't given up as Bain picks it up and thumps it forward for the Tigers. Ball eludes the pack. Pouncing on its lane. Right foot around the corner. If they weren't home before, they are now, Craney. Laney's got his first for the day.
Yeah, look, he's another one who's putting his hand up for the Hemp Brothers Rising Star. He got a few nominations last week for us, but he's been fantastic. But, gee, hasn't there been some great performances all over this game of football?
Oh, geez, it's been a real even contest all over the ground. Even, 14-7, 14-7-97, I reckon, to 12-7-79.
This game's gone a bit later than what we expected to, Macca, actually.
No, it's 90.
It's testing your maths?
Oh, yeah, it's 91.
Well, you're the school teacher,
14-7-91,
you're the principal.
12-7-79. And they've got that 2-goal buffer now. I'd say the game is definitely in their keeping. But
not without a bit of a scare there for the Tigers.
Up they go. It's one down by Lucy again. Horsman takes the football. But so she's nearly all over, bar the shouting. There have been some terrific players. Not one passenger all over the ground for either side, I'd reckon. Horsman wins this. Crane takes it. Another possession for him. Left foot. Gets it out onto the wing. Lane gathers it. Handballs to Piggott. He's been outstanding today. Has a bounce. Then goes as another bounce. He's tackled by Chiblet.
One too many, I reckon.
Chiblet just smacked him and knocked him over. Ball's still in play. It's in the half forward. As Lane picks it up and goes forward, and Bourne out in front takes a mark on his chest. Now it's become happy hour.
We talk about the Bank of Queensland coaching move. Shane Bolton's thrown Giblet into that midfield and freeing him up.
Yes.
He's been a big part of this Donnybrook revival.
Absolutely. And also Bo Lucy into the ruck, dare I say it again. Blake Piggott's been terrific today, Craney, hasn't he?
Oh, mate, there's been a number of players that have put their hand up this afternoon for the WA.
Bourne lets fly, 45-degree angle, 40 metres out. He's hit the woodwork. Would have been his third goal, but he's hit the post. So,
gee, I tell you what, we've been treated to
98 to 12-7-79 on the Southwest Isuzu scoreboard.
We've been treated to a magnificent game of Southwest Football League.
Well and true. We were joking at three-quarter time when we said we had the close one at 40 points. And, geez, did it get close? It got to within a goal.
Quick around the grounds, thanks to Geograph Civil. 18-18-126. Bunbury have defeated the Harvey Bulls. 5-34. And HBL Welland Controller have defeated Dunsborough, actually 14 goals, 19-103. Defeated Dunsborough 4-4-28. So we have definitely had the close one.
Lucy wins the knock for KFC at centre half forward for Donnybrook. They pick it up. The players are all tackling now. They're getting a bit weary. The intensity's still there, but they are fatiguing. Umpires found a free kick, and it's going to go the Donnybrooks' way. Taken there by Hare, wobbles a drop punt, eludes the pack, taken by Potter, looking for someone to give it to, outside of the right boot, dribbles it inside 50. Where's Dering when you need him? Versace picks up, tackled by Dering, good work. They're all working hard now. Bain comes in, tackles. Umpire said he sat on it, that's holding the ball. So that's Johnson rather, not Bain. So Harris gets up, looking a little bit deflated.
Sign of a good forward, isn't it? Pushing that far into defence to help out.
Gorda's taken the mark. They are playing for time there. There's no question. Ball comes across, finds Sawyer. Sawyer goes right across to the back pocket and taking the mark on his chest is Jones. Jones stab past to Crane, getting another late touch. They're inside D50, but they're sharing the ball around. Back to Jones. Jones now has to go back to Crane. Siren mustn't be far away. Comes into Gorda, takes a mark on his chest, and guess what, Craney? They're still in D50.
53 possessions
And
later.
there's
That
a
is
siren, Craney.
at hands oval.
On the southwest scoreboard. South Bunbury, Southwest Isuzu scoreboard. South Bunbury, 14 goals, 8, 98. Is it? Yeah, 14 goals, 8, 98. To Donnybrook, 12 goals, 7, 79. We have been treated to an outstanding game of football here today at Hands Over, and I'm glad I made the trip up for it.
What a magnificent... Actually, the game was good right from the start, wasn't it? When you look at... so you look at the game of the South. South had all they run in their first quarter. That was a magnificent final quarter by Donnybrook. And you just... The positives out of it, Donnybrook, they just never give in all day. And it's a credit to all these players that took the field, Macca, today, because I thought that was an outstanding performance from both these clubs. I said South Bunbury will take the 4 points, but Donnybrook will also go home. And that is us at Hands Oval. We'll see you shortly.
We'll come back for the post-match.